You want to do the intro, Dennis?
We are here with Darryl Tocco. Unclicked. That's my intro. And,
Perfect. I feel like it's been a while since you've done the intro.
you've done
so
the last
you have to
couple,
do,
so
because you do this
I was
intro.
nervous there.
He does this intro chug now.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
I
has
have to
do it.
chug 44, and this is my 34th one. Oh, wait, no.
He's making that number up.
No, it's 34 more. I was thinking that on the drive
34
over.
more. Oh, okay.
After this, I have 33 more.
So this is
All right,
tradition.
we're here.
now.
We're here
Yes,
with
thanks to our sponsor, Darryl Tocco,
Mhm.
Fudger,
And,
Unclicked RBMX.
we're here with Mr. Tocco. Cheers. Welcome to California.
Cheers, boys.
A
Thank you.
little hot, but not nearly as hot as Texas.
No, yeah, this is incredible.
You are here
Loving it.
chilling with the wife.
Yeah, we just been posted up in Encinitas for a few days. Summer hit really early in Austin this year, and it's been pretty miserable. So, we just kind of needed a mental break, and we're just kind of working a little bit out here and just posted up, chilling.
Yeah,
it's been cool.
Beachfront.
No, but it's walking distance. We'll take it.
Well, I feel like I don't know. I have a full topic. I have a full list like origin story, Jersey, bad timing, Slatterly. You know, who do we want to talk about? Like how is life outside of BMX is maybe the first question.
It's cool, man. It's been a big adjustment, like kind of departing the industry and not working full time for Kink anymore. So it kind of changes the way I look at riding a little bit, but work is cool. You know, doing other stuff feels good, and still working with like a group of people that I love, and it's, you know, a group of friends still. So it kind of still has that feel. But yeah, it's good.
How long were you a professional bike rider?
I guess around 15 years.
Long time.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, probably could have cut the cord a little earlier maybe, but we'll see, you know. Hung around.
You did actually like kind of retire in a sense, right? Like you put out which video part was it?
Yeah. When we started filming for Champagne, I was like starting to stack a couple clips, and I knew I wanted to like film a part, but it wasn't going to be for that video. Like we had talked with the office, and like we wanted me to like pretty much like completely focus on the new video. So it was like kind of agreed, like you'll kind of step down or whatever, however you want to do it. And I was kind of just like, well, if we're going to do this, like I want to film one more part that I'm like stoked on. So yeah, that's what I did. The first couple months of Champagne, I got like everything that I needed for a part to put out that I was stoked on. And then after that, like fully focused on the video and the other guys.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah.
And then so that part came out after Champagne though, right? Or no?
No.
Oh,
that was
okay.
before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What was it? What was the name of it? Just for my own memory. You can't remember either. Darryl Tocco quits.
I think you guys hosted it.
Oh, did we?
Was Champagne the last video you made? Last full length?
The last full length. Yeah.
Such a good video.
Thanks, man.
And was the first one safety first? Like as far as when you joined Kink and
Yeah. The first Kink video that I did was safety first.
Man.
And the last one was Champagne.
Kink's always been dope, but your chapter with Kink is like, I'm such a fan of that chapter from safety
Yeah,
first to
man.
Champagne, man, and everything in the middle.
It still means like a lot to me that I had that time in my life with those guys and that group of people. Like we saw a lot, did a lot together. It was like a kind of a little brotherhood for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So it was really cool.
Yeah, and to be like a pro rider for the company, but you built that image too, because you completely, after safety first, it was like a new thing. Like it was still Kink, but it was a new team.
Yeah.
New
That was
image.
kind of like the rebrand of, the
Sure.
whole company. We got Doyle involved, and Sexton was, kind of blowing everybody's minds at that time. And then
Tom
Tony
Dillon.
and
Tony,
Tom Dillon, shout out to Tom. We had like a really good crew.
Many sick dudes, man. I'm blanking on a bunch of names, but safety first was like,
Yeah.
whoa.
Aaron Smith.
Aaron
like,
Smith, Sexton's buddy who was goofy footed.
Jason Owens.
Yes.
Shout out to Jason.
Yeah, man.
Love that guy.
Yeah.
We're probably forgetting a bunch, but watch safety first if you want to
Yeah.
watch a good video.
Yeah.
Watch everything from safety first to Champagne.
Right.
You'll be like 2
how
weeks
many
of
how many
fun.
full lengths did you do?
I
Gotta be like
guess-
8, 9, 10.
No, I've in total probably done 8 or 9,
Yeah.
but Kink I think 4 or 5 maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's It was up
That's
there.
that's a hefty number. That's a huge contribution to BMX. You know,
And they're all
Like,
good.
yeah.
Integration, or was it intervention?
Intervention,
That
yeah.
one's cool
Yeah.
too. Like
That was a
God,
fun one.
That's one of my favorite Doyle parts.
Dude, yeah, right?
I love that Doyle part.
Yeah, he went hard for that one.
And the song too. It's a rap song.
Yeah.
That's so different.
we got
but
so
it's
much
like,
shit for that.
Why? I love it. It's just so
I think
different.
At that time, like I had been kind of using like the same genre of music for our videos for a long time, and when Intervention, the idea came to do that video, Jay was like, I want to switch it up like hard. And I was like, I've always been a rap fan and listener, so I was like, okay, like I got a catalog ready to go. And yeah, I started putting this Doyle part together, and we were all like hyped on it because it was just something completely different for
It's
Doyle.
a cool feel.
And I remember when it came out, like there were, it was like old heads that were like, this fucking Doyle part, what the fuck were they thinking?
No way.
it's like a Sato and the 50 Cent song.
It's literally one
But
of my
like it kind of works now. Like when I see the Asato
Yeah.
part, when I think of the Asato part, I'm like, it's kind of sick now.
Yeah,
At the
yeah.
time,
when
I
it
was
came
like,
out, I was like, I don't
Yeah.
know. But yeah, I don't know. It was
now I
funny.
want to hear it, Chris.
But the 50 Cent song is like it was like almost a radio song, you know? Like,
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like
the
Yeah.
song you chose
it
was
was like
the song I never
humorous.
heard.
Like
don't
I
think.
thought it was like supposed to be funny almost. But yeah, the Doyle song was like kind of serious, and
see if we can.
Dude, Intervention's so good too. It just goes so hard. Dude.
Yeah,
think,
I mean, this
um,
is a sick
This
song.
might have been
bro.
one of his last parts too.
yeah,
I think it was.
honestly,
I think he got his heart thing
now that I
during this
think
video.
about it,
Oh yeah,
I think this might have been one of Connor's last parts as well. This is-
Dan actually shot.
Oh no, sorry.
like,
We're talking about Champagne before this anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
two different videos.
Dan,
Uh,
I think Dan shot like this entire part, which was really cool. Like we kind of like split up duties between me, Calvin, and Dan
Mhm.
filming this video. So Dan being on the East Coast, he was like going out to Pittsburgh, and him and Doyle pretty much made all this happen, which was super sick.
Chris Doyle is
what's
so sick.
like? Is there a part that you filmed that is like the part? I guess we're just gonna jump around. I mean, I have a
Let's
full
do it.
list, but we'll
Yeah.
just jump around.
That's
so
all right. Yeah, I don't know. I think safety first feels good to me still.
Yeah.
Like I think I was progressing the most around that time and kind of coming into my own as a rider.
Yeah.
So that part kind of felt like kind of special for me. But yeah, I don't know.
You've had so much footage throughout that chapter. in all
Yeah,
these
like we
videos.
were traveling so much and riding so much cool shit that like
even jet lagged is so
Yeah,
sick.
jet
yeah,
lagg's
right. Like that
dude.
was another fun one.
Damn, you killed it in that.
So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of all over the place.
What?
yeah, I
Dude,
feel
this
like
came out when I was in high school, still filming.
There's Fudger right there.
that's me. I didn't
This is
even recognize myself.
Yeah,
That's
man,
my
this
back.
is old now. It's crazy. That was my first Smith hard ever.
It looks
You
is
got
the
a
footage
style like no
is the
one else,
footage like
man.
stretched 4:3 like squished?
Yeah, why is that?
Oh
Is it just a YouTube cut?
yeah, I think it's a YouTube thing. It's on the Kink channel though.
Huh. This might have been me like completely not knowing what I was doing at the time, honestly. Like, stretching footage out to 69.
Or maybe you're like, nobody will notice. I'll just put it on
Yeah, I
YouTube
don't
like
know.
this.
Who knows?
Or that it was like an SEO thing. Like if we make it 4:3, YouTube won't deliver it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, now that I'm looking back on this stuff, I definitely have better footage out there, so I'm not sure anymore.
But your style, man, and like the
Yeah.
you got to remember when this came out. You know, like
Yeah.
God, you had have the sickest style. Gyro, 2 pegs, everything's so
I get-
snappy.
I mean, were there influences that you think you can credit your style to? Because it's like it is like snappy and powerful.
Mhm.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of guys, in the streets. I always wanted to look like Stephen Hamilton, or like Ed was a big influence.
Mhm.
But yeah, I don't know. I had such kind of like, I kind of had like a ramp background as a younger kid. So that kind of like influenced the way I looked at riding street. And yeah, I don't know. It's tough to say, I think.
A lot of people.
I mean, I
Yeah,
almost think
so many
there
dudes.
is like small similarities between you and D Hard. I feel like too.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Well, I think maybe there's like
That's-
almost like the attention to the way you looked.
Yeah.
You know?
No, that's a really good point. Like
There's
Chase-
no sloppy clips.
Chase and I grew up not too far
That
from
was
each
crazy.
other.
Yeah.
You like hard 180 and your peg slipped underneath
Yeah, I
the
think
rail.
I slipped off, but it
You
just
did.
worked.
So
Oh.
good. Can you still do that?
It's funny you mentioned that. I want to try and get one at Chase's soon because his ramp is so
Dude,
high.
that trick is nasty. That's a similar to Chase D too, because he could do a bunch of crazy
Yeah,
tricks
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, I mean Chase was a huge influence for me growing up, like riding with him and seeing kind of his like signature snappy little style. It made me like, I don't know, it definitely had a big influence.
Okay, so obviously South Jersey, like
Dude,
so
that's
really
so
close to Philly,
fucked up
right?
without a free coaster.
Yeah, we're about 25 minutes from Philly, so that was the first city I ever rode street in, and the scene was huge
Man,
at
brought
that
back
time.
memories.
and
Sorry.
yeah, Philly was
Yeah.
Philly was kind of a big deal for us, like
Yeah.
having it so close.
And then who was your like crew growing up? Like you, I mean, there had to be a crew before Bad Timing, or was that literally like the growing up
Yeah,
crew?
I mean, they were kind of all like before we had skate parks, we just rode trails, and all the guys I ended up doing the Bad Timing stuff with were all dudes I knew from the trails.
Mhm.
So it was like Slattery when he was super young, 13. I met Jeff when he was probably 11 years old.
Yeah. Was he always just fucking good?
We
Yeah.
always knew like
Yeah.
he's going to be somebody.
Yeah.
He's probably going to do something with this. But yeah, all those guys, once our trails got plowed, we all kind of like shifted into driving to Lakewood a lot more, going to like Scotty's Park and
Mhm.
the Tom's River Parks, and I don't know, just kind of like bouncing around Jersey to find whatever we could to ride. So yeah, those same guys that I was riding the trails with, we just started riding all the parks with, and then that turned into more street, and just they were like my best friends. So
When does the camera come in? Is it?
the camera came in early, honestly. Like I started bringing it to the trails when I was probably 15 or so, 14. It was always like something that I was curious about. Like honestly, selfishly, I wanted to know what I looked like on my bike because I was so small, and I thought like a lot of dudes would just be like kind of clowning me, like, and I was like, that felt good, but I don't know if it looks good. So I was like always curious, like what the stuff I was doing looked like.
I feel like that's and that's like what I was talking about. Like your style is like a honed in, like, I feel like it's
That's
a
exactly what
consciousness.
I was thinking too. Like, and he grew up and he could just be like, "Pow, pow." Like,
Yeah.
everything you did was like
Yeah.
power.
Yeah, I
like-
mean, I always cared more about how my stuff looked than like having the most tricks. I think I just wanted to like really dial in what came naturally to me. So that's kind of how I looked at it. After I started seeing footage, I was like, oh, okay. Like, I think I know what works for me and what doesn't. Like,
Mhm.
my turn downs are not good. Like they're never. I don't think they're ever going to be good. So.
I've never seen you do a turn down.
Yeah, I mean, you won't.
Never filmed
He
one.
leaves those to Brett.
Yeah,
Brett
yeah.
Tocco.
My brother has
Yeah.
all the tricks that I
Yeah.
don't like.
The whips and the turn downs. Yeah.
So yeah, that kind of helped me like figure out what I wanted to look like on my bike, but also I fell in love with like filming and like messing with footage and all that stuff. So it quickly turned into like, oh, this is like the other half of riding that I like am obsessed with.
So you're 14. How old are you now?
I'll be 39 next week. Dude.
39. Yeah. So this is 95. What kind of camera do you have that you're?
Well, my dad started sending me to the trails with this huge Betamax like shoulder
Yeah.
crazy thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And when it actually did it, because Dennis has no idea. This is like it's a VHS tape that goes in, but it's bigger than a VHS tape, right?
It
Smaller.
records to
Smaller.
a VHS tape.
Oh, it's smaller.
but it was
Okay.
like it's a full size
Okay.
tape, but it's like, sorry.
But you're good.
Yeah, it's just a tad smaller than a VHS, but
Okay.
yeah, the whole tape goes into this camera, and I was lugging it like
Yeah.
all the way to
Yeah.
the trails that were like 4 miles away.
Imagine for the 14-year-old Darryl, like he's like the camera's like 30% of his size.
Yeah,
you know?
seriously, like I was so
And
small,
the
dude.
bike at that time too.
Yeah,
It's
the bike
yeah,
of that. Oh yeah,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
a nug of
Yeah.
a bike.
Yeah.
It's
They're
probably
like,
so
look at that.
heavy.
He's like an ant carrying 10 times his weight.
Dude, totally. But yeah, I became so obsessed with it that I like saved up all all summer one year working with my dad to like buy like a little Sony like handy cam,
Okay.
and that was like it wasn't mini DV yet. It was like the high 8 or
Yeah, the
whatever
high
they were
8,
called
yeah.
it. So yeah, that like once he gave me the original beta cam to mess with, I like always had a camera with me.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
And then, like, do you just have these tapes at home, or you just like, do you have all this footage at home, or no?
Yeah, I mean, I have in my garage, you know, shoe boxes of the mini DV tapes from the original Bad Timing videos and all that stuff. But I'd be curious about the betas. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if they're
Yeah,
around
don't
anymore.
actually exist. So are you like editing it, or are you just watching it and then inviting the boys over and be
Yeah,
like, oh, this
well,
is a session from last week?
I was telling Canode this last year, but he, my dad like showed me how to do like deck to deck cutting.
Okay.
So like I had 2
like
VCRs
yeah.
hooked up,
Yeah.
like super old school, and I would like play a portion of the footage, record it, press pause and record. You know, that's one clip.
Mm-hmm.
Find the next clip on this VCR, play, record. Kind of like, I don't know. I think that's the main-
Painful.
yeah, it was brutal.
Yeah.
So, but he showed me how to do it. So I started like building tapes of like my friends. Like this would be my boy Chris's tape.
Mm-hmm.
This is like Darryl tape or whatever.
Is that Larson?
Yeah.
All right.
Good shout out. So then, yeah, that VCR actually was like pretty tech, and my dad showed me like you could put music onto the decks. So I could like play a tape on my stereo and aux cord it into the VCR and like kind of make a section almost.
Yeah.
And that's when I got like really like obsessed with it. I was
Yeah.
like, oh shit.
That's sick. Your dad. I sick. Your dad was like, all right, here's my camera.
Yeah.
You can do this. You can do that. Like,
Totally.
was he
was
was
there computers at that time?
I
Like,
mean,
computers that could edit, or was this like the only way you could edit as like a modest person? Seriously.
Honestly, I don't
Is
know.
this a- is that a
95,
bad
14.
question?
No. I'm trying to think
No.
back. I
I
mean, there
don't-
was computers because I
They
always
weren't
like
really
dial up
accessible,
internet.
though.
And
no, we definitely didn't have one.
yeah, I mean, like, yeah.
I'm saying like this might is like what was the other?
It's
way
so
to do
funny,
it
like
as,
explaining
without-
this to people. Like, I literally had to do like book reports on a typewriter at the library. Like, that's
Yeah.
how old I
Yeah.
am. Like, that's what existed.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my
Like-
grandpa was alive before a car was invented. I think I was talking to him. I'm like, that's fucking dude. Only a couple grandpas ago, like they were
Yeah.
just coming over to
Yeah.
this country.
I remember my
It's crazy.
grandpa was like, yeah, I went and bought a car and like you didn't have a license and the guy just taught you how to drive. And then the wipers, you would just turn it. It was raining. So you're driving and you're just turning this thing like yourself.
And now we
Like-
have like little computers in our pockets that have like
Yeah, right.
editing
Yeah.
programs.
All right. So first official video is a Bad Timing video though, right?
Yeah,
Or
well,
if we jump
actually,
forward. Oh, is there?
I made a little cut video
Oh,
called Eternity
eternity.
when I was, I don't know,
For men.
I was in like
Okay.
7th grade
I
or
like that
something.
name.
Yeah.
But yeah, then later on, I was just throughout the years, I was just filming and filming and filming, and just had this like stack of footage. And like my friends were getting better and better, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna like, kind of invest a little more in like a actual mini DV Sony cam. And then once I got that, my friend John Rye,
Mm-hmm.
he kind of approached
shout
me.
out.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's my boy.
it's
I've
my
heard
boy,
that name
my
a
boy
bunch.
too.
Yeah, definitely.
He's big in the BMX industry, right?
No,
like
he's
I've heard that name a bunch.
he's just John Rye.
He's big in the BMX friend group.
Yeah,
Okay.
You've
yeah.
definitely
I've
met
heard
him.
He's
that.
like
Yeah.
yeah.
Heard the
He's like a
name.
supreme human.
Yeah, he's a great
Like
guy.
you can't really describe him.
He lived with me and Fudger in Long Beach
Yeah.
for quite a while.
He wanted to
so-
beat my ass the first time I met.
Yeah, he
met
did
me.
actually.
Yeah.
He almost kicked you out of our house.
I feel like a lot of people have said that though back then.
Were
So
you drunk?
no,
Wow.
it's just rude.
You were.
Normal.
Just Fudger being Fudger.
normal, no filter me. Just like really,
I mean,
yeah.
looking back on that story, it was justified. Like, what I think you were like, you're a dumbass. He was like, you don't like it, get the fuck out.
Yeah. I don't know. He sideswiped some cars and was telling it in like a
Kind of
and
braggadocious.
kind of braggadocious way, bragging about it, and I was like, "You're a fucking idiot!" Like, so that's
And
yeah,
he's like, get the fuck
yeah,
out.
Kinda, yeah.
yeah. Telling
I kind
somebody
of
in
had to
their
like
own
come
house.
in and like calm him down. Like, yo, it's Fudger. He's staying.
So sorry. So John Rye, so friend group making a video.
Yeah, John kind of approached me and was like, do you want to make like t-shirts or something? And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. Like, get our little crew together. And I was like, I'll do it if I can like make a video. And he was like, yeah, that's a great idea. So then I was like, oh, let's like get the guys together and like actually do this. So I kind of talked to everyone like, you guys want to do a project together? Like start really filming for something? And they were all like super down. So
where I have two questions. So where does the name come from? And then like, what was happening at that time that like what other crew videos were out there? You're like, these guys are doing it. Let's do it.
dude.
You know?
Okay. So first the name came from the band Recover, who's actually from Austin. They were being like used in props a lot at the time, and me and John loved them. And they had just put out a record called Bad Timing, and the song was super sick. So we were trying to come up with names for like a week, and I was just in my car one day and it came on and I was like, Bad Timing is like kind of a cool name. And I like mentioned it to John and he was like, that's it. And he was like, it kind of works for us because we were like, we always have bad luck on the road and, you know, shit happens to us all the time. And so we were like, okay, let's do it. And then, shit, what was the second part? Of that?
What other crews like, you know, I think at
yeah.
that point, like, I mean, I don't know if it's a strong statement that like crews aren't as like prevalent as they are today, you know, like right now, like a
especially
crew
during that
video, like
time.
think of crew videos, how, I mean, I don't
Fast
know.
and loose.
You still got
Fast
like
and
Fast
Loose.
and Loose and
Yeah.
Chocolate Truck. And,
Yeah.
you know, there's definitely, you know,
I feel
child
like they're
dudes.
the only ones making videos.
Maybe, yeah.
But
So
yeah,
I could be
everyone's
wrong.
making
I mean,
videos
it's-
still.
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
Octopus is under Stonehenge.
true. No, but seriously, at that time, it felt like a lot of crews were like taking things into their own hands and being like, we're just going to make our own videos.
Yeah.
Like there were guys up in New Hampshire that were working on Off the Map at the time, and like,
Great video.
yeah,
Yeah.
love that video. And yeah, there was just like at the time, if you watched like Navazio's videos, like Jersey Riding or Standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
he would have commercials in them like props, but they were all like crews
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't, you know, he didn't have like big advertisers flocking to him. So these crews would like send in their 30-second commercial and Navaz would charge them like nothing. But it made me like realize like, oh dude, there's so many dudes like doing this right
Mhm.
now. And it was like inspiring. Like I got to like, I don't know. I just got a kick out of thinking like these dudes are just running it, like making full length DVDs, getting them duplicated, packaged, you know, getting them sold. So it was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's see if we can do that. And so we did.
Yeah. And so you guys made 2 DVDs overall, or 2 videos. I don't know. The first one was DVD too?
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
both DVDs.
How'd they do sales wise back then?
I mean, I don't know what to compare it to at the time, but like the second one, I think we sold like 2,000 copies. And like for the first time ever, we had like some money in our pockets.
Yeah.
And
we
that was
just-
just a crew, like no sponsors
Yeah.
involved or anything.
Yeah, totally.
awesome.
And like we had people hitting us up and helping us, you know, do distribution. And Skirbo like called me out of the blue one day when I was just a kid living at my parents' house in Jersey and was like, "What's up with this video?" You know, I was like, "What?" So yeah,
He
it
just
was
called
cool.
you to talk about the video.
Yeah, he wanted to like help distribute it through
Ah,
Animal. So I
sick.
was like, "Dude, what?" Like Bob Skirbo's calling me. And then like the Blackout dudes from, you know, Kink would hit me up and they were like, they wanted to help out with the video. So it was
they
a
did
trip.
well.
Like, yeah, we were
Yeah.
like, oh shit, like we have some money, we can go on like some more trips. So we
And-
just blew all that money on like trips, really.
And then where was kind of the where does Kink come in, and then where does like Bad Timing go wrong, I guess?
So we started,
Or right, because maybe everyone kind of got sponsored.
I
and,
mean,
like,
I think that's
yeah,
Yeah.
like
kind of.
everyone kind of branched off.
I think we were about 3/4 away through filming when I got the call from Jay.
Mhm.
So I actually have my first Kink in the second Bad Timing video.
Yeah.
So that was another trip. Like he called me, or you know, someone from Blackout got in touch with me about distributing the new video, and I was like, awesome. Like they're calling ahead of time. They just knew that we were filming. And then shortly after that, Jay like called me and asked me like if they could send me a bike.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like this is crazy, you know. And Slattery was starting to get hooked up by United.
Mhm.
It just seemed like people were kind of taking notice, like what was going on. Like D Hart was with our crew, but D Hart was already kind of like making moves. He was like in the shutter speed videos, and he was riding for Fit already, I think.
There are so many videos that I haven't thought of in so long.
right?
Shutter Speed and Off the Map and Off the Map 2.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
yeah.
The Northeast was like a haven for that stuff
Yeah.
at the time. So, so yeah, it was just like all of our friends kind of started getting hooked up. Randy Brown got on Eastern, which like in hindsight is pretty funny, but you know, it like kind of launched his career.
Yeah.
So yeah, all of a sudden we were like these dudes, and like now we all had like free bikes.
Yeah.
It was like shit.
This is crazy.
Something's happening.
Yeah, we peaked.
Fudger's staying at our house this weekend.
But that might have been what happened to bad timing too, is everyone kind of got like obligations all of a
Totally.
sudden. People probably
Yeah.
started getting paid to ride.
Yeah, I mean, you know, not shortly after the video was done is when I got the opportunity with Kink, and they started asking me to make their stuff. So it was like everybody was busy and doing their own thing, and you know, we were getting older, a little bit older too. So guys, you know, started working. The guys that weren't getting hooked up were working regular jobs and doing their thing. But yeah, it was a really cool time for us. Like as a crew, it was like, look what the hell is going on here. Like it was a trip.
Yeah.
So
That's dope.
yeah.
when you first got sponsored by Kink, was it kind of a riding filming gig, or what was the deal?
I think, well, the way Jay's explained it to me is that he knew the filming would come eventually.
Yeah.
But he wanted to start out the relationship like as a rider, which made me feel really good, obviously. And then once we had like kind of like, I think like 6 months under our belt, he was like, we want to do a full length. And I was like, oh, really? He was like, we want you to do it. I was like, oh shit.
So was that the time period? Like who all's on the team at that point? Like because Kink had the mass exodus of team riders. It felt like it was like they got rid of Schur, got rid of Arriaga. Who else was on the
Ian
team?
Monroe.
And that was like the heyday of BMX message boards. And anonymous shit talking and stuff like that. So it was like drama on the internet at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like tuned out after all those guys left. I kind of thought like, oh, they must be like shutting down, you know, like they must be closing their doors or something.
Yeah.
So by the time Jay called me and mentioned Kink, I was like, Kink, you know, like
yeah.
And I kind of like maybe vocalized that, like, you guys are like doing it, and he was like, yeah, dude, we're like rebranding, we have big plans, like, and we want you to be a part of it. So it was like,
yeah, that's true. As a kid looking in, it looked like Kink was kind of like when those guys, it was just like,
yeah,
they
like,
were
what the
hanging out
hell?
for a while, but they weren't really doing anything since like Cheap Thrills,
Yeah,
if I can remember right. And then it seemed like, they just always had like the back ad a ride, but it was like, they're not doing anything.
yeah,
You know, or maybe they were just always had an ad and ride or something.
I feel like just people were angry. They're like, how the fuck could you get rid of all these people?
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, what the fuck is that? There were a lot of question
No,
marks.
it seemed like
and
Kink
stuff
was
like
dying.
that.
fair
It did.
enough.
Yeah.
Like I would have thought the same thing.
It seemed
you
like
know,
it was dying from as a fan standpoint. And then when Safety first came out, it was like, it's like a new brand.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
And that's
kind of sick.
That's kind of how Jay like mentioned it on the phone call. Was like, we have plans to like revamp this thing, and we're gonna be talking to some guys, and like we want you to be a part of this. And I was like, that felt really cool to like kind of get in on the ground floor and be like, we're gonna, you know, ride this wave together and like figure it out like in the van.
I mean, all credit to Jay, because like, I mean, I guess was Jay the one that like let all those dudes go, or like was there a conscious reason? Because those dudes were confused too. It was like everybody got let go on the same day.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
was
I
it
mean, Jay wasn't involved yet.
Yeah.
He was like folding t-shirts in the warehouse at that time.
Yeah.
So
was it Sam? Was it the Sam guy?
yeah.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right.
Who I personally never met.
Yeah.
But I think Sam was the TM when all that stuff went down, and I don't know if it was like him or Zach that actually like made those brutal phone calls,
Yeah.
which I'm sure were really hard to make. But yeah, I think the only people that survived were Casey and Dirty Dan were on the pro team at the time. They survived. I think Jim was leaving around that time anyway to start Sunday. And then Wong was on.
Oh, okay.
But he was on
Sabrosa real quick.
Yeah, and that was because when Cher got dropped, I think Sabrosa was right around the corner.
Yeah, I think those conversations already started. It'd be interesting to
Crazy
find out that
time.
timeline.
Yeah.
And it was like
it was like a shakeup.
because I mean, like I was like super close with Sure at that point, and Sure was very secretive about like what he was doing. You know, like really, really secretive. So
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess like from the outside looking in, it looked like crazy move, but it also like in hindsight, it looks like it was all planned, you know, and you know, to the detriment of those dudes. But at a point, sometimes you have to shake stuff up and and like get new blood on a brand, and sometimes that's hard, you know. Like I think we talked about that recently. It's like sometimes it's like hard to bring up that new squad when you have
and you got to say bye to a
squad.
family almost or say bye to a few guys, a part of a family to restart something.
Yeah.
There's not enough budget to sponsor everyone.
Shout out to Ian Monroe too, and Ariaga.
Yeah,
honestly,
dude,
but
those guys were so sick.
First gap hanger, right? First hanger.
Yeah,
honestly,
as far as I know, at the UCI Kinker.
I think is that one in the pool or something. I don't know. Probably UCI Kinker.
Oh,
yeah. But I don't know. That's his banger in one of the parts. So I'm thinking it. But
was the first trip you guys ever did as a new team? This is super random, but the Props Oregon Portland trip.
No, but you're close. It was Mega Tour 6.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was the other crazy part. Like, you know, he
started doing stuff fast.
Yeah,
it was like that, the Mega Tour, then Safety First.
So who's the new squad that you're on that trip with? Who's the new Mega Tour? Like,
Doyle was there.
Doyle.
So me, Doyle, Casey, Dirty Dan, and Sexton.
So that's crazy. I always think
Sexton and Doyle adding to that team, and then you
as
a rider and a filmer.
And like dude, when Jay told me that Doyle was getting on, I was like, Chris Doyle?
That's what Chris Doyle got on Kink. I was like,
he's going to be with us on this trip.
Yeah.
When did he? So
he
that
moved
was
over like
that
in
was all
his.
at the same
he's
time?
always in his prime, but like when he moved over, like he could have picked anyone. It seemed like, you know, like and he went with Kink. It was like, no way.
Yeah.
This is huge.
Yeah. Honestly, it's weird that he's not on Kink right now. Like it's like it
still feels weird to me.
Yeah. Like I always say
S&M's super cool.
I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I just think I always
it is weird. I would think you'd have been on Kink for life.
Doyle Kink, you know, but
he had a crazy thing that happened, and it almost seemed like he wasn't going to ride again.
Yeah, you know, fuck Doyle. Quit his podcast. Quit Kink. You know, so. Yeah.
Now he's on S&M.
I love Doyle. We talk all the time.
I love Chris Doyle.
You know,
hero
too.
Yeah, absolute hero.
So. That's a crazy squad. Sexton is obviously fucking peak skill on a bike.
Yeah, dude, and I didn't know, I didn't know about him really until we went on that trip together. I'd seen a few clips and a few photos.
You kind of had to be from the West Coast to know.
Yeah,
Sexton
like he was buzzing out there, but I didn't really know. And then we went on that trip together, and I was like, oh my god, like I didn't even know there were dudes riding like this yet.
Dude, Sexton was like a future rider.
He was like doing like stricker pedals at like hang fives.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this guy doing?
And then doing an XF tail whips over dirt jumps.
Yeah, like he could do all the box jump stuff. And it was just like, oh my God, this dude's a monster.
Yeah.
And he was like the coolest dude ever. So I was like, dude, this is like my guy now.
Doesn't get cooler than Sexton.
For real.
It really doesn't. For those that don't know, he really is the coolest motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like you can't even describe it. Like
he's the coolest dude in any room he's in, so
without trying at all.
Yeah.
That's
so it was like, it was a trip for me to like not really know where my spot was at Kink and then get thrown onto this trip with, guys I sweated Casey pretty bad. Dirty Dan, I was always a big fan of. And then like, obviously Doyle was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. And then at some point we were on the trip halfway through, I think, and Jay like turned around in the van and he was like, I just like want to let you guys know, like, you guys are the new Kink Pro team. And like, he hadn't said that word to me. I didn't even know what that meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, and even Sexton was like, whoa, really? And we were just like, all right, like, cool. I didn't, I was such a young kid and I didn't really know dudes, I didn't even know dudes got paid. I didn't know how any of that shit was.
Yeah.
wow,
So
that's crazy.
it was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but it feels cool.
So
So
Doyle
do I have to
probably
go to
knew,
work next
obviously,
week,
'cause
or-
I think Doyle kind of was like
he had to
the
know.
catalyst for
Yeah.
making like,
And he's like, these kids will say yes. Put them on.
yeah, right. But I think it was like, if we're gonna bring Doyle on, like we got to do this right,
Yeah.
and everybody needs to like start getting hooked up. So it was crazy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So were you filming right in the beginning too?
Not
those-
for Kink. Like we were going on trips. The first couple trips we went on were like props trips.
Yeah, okay.
So Walter,
Mega Tour and props.
yeah. So Walter was like kind of our go-to guy for prop stuff, and he would just handle it, which was awesome for me because I was so used to filming everyone. So it was cool to just be like, you're the new guy on the team, like just ride. And
Cool.
that felt really cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we kind of meant to ask this earlier, but like, I always feel like the filmer's story is like, hey, yeah, I really liked riding, but like all these other dudes are so fucking good. So I just like picked up a camera,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, like, and it didn't seem like that was your story.
No, I mean, there was just
This is my story.
yeah.
That's my story.
You gotta give yourself more credit.
I don't know. Grew up with Gary Young, so
Yeah,
I got a valid. If that was my bar, and I'm like, that bar is fucked.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I did feel that way. Like even with Slattery and
Yeah.
a couple of the guys, it was just like these guys are ripping so hard. Like I have to film this stuff
Mhm.
because if no one else is, like I'm the guy. Like I like cameras, so this should be happening. These guys need to like be documented. So it just worked out. Like, and filming helped me as a rider. Made me push and progress and all that stuff that comes with filming, right? Like, so it helped me get to be on that level, as a rider as well. Filming those guys all the time and then just passing the camera off, it was like, I don't know, it was like a good balance and it worked out really well.
I feel like maybe that means that you just progressed in a shorter window than those dudes did. If they spent the entire time on the bike and then you spent a lot of time holding the camera, you know?
Yeah, maybe. And honestly, I think I kind of hit a wall
Mhm.
eventually because I wasn't learning stuff as quick after a while. Like I had a good window where I learned a lot of shit. And then I was like, oh, I'm just like doing what I like to do now.
Yeah.
And I think it just kind of put me in my position and I was like, I'm just going to do what I do and do it as best as I can do it because I'm not going to learn like Sexton switch whips. Like it's just not it's not in my it's not in my bag of cards. So.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah.
Okay. What about I guess I mean I think my first intro where I was in Philly and John made a great impression on John was filming for Insight.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of I mean, I feel like Navaz had an unintentional and an
We should
intentional
watch a little bit of
influence.
that part.
Yeah.
Insight's so good.
You hate this section, right?
Really?
I don't hate it. I just there's a couple clips I really like, and then there's some other stuff that I just feel like I'm going really slow, and I hadn't really figured out what I wanted to do out there yet.
Yeah.
Like there's just some spot use that was like,
Questionable.
yeah.
And Insight was before Safety First.
I think they were. That's a
Seems
good
like
question.
Timeline
same,
is hard.
Same
Yeah.
same time frame, but
It's hard to say, but the only reason I got this opportunity was because of Kink. Like Navaz needed guys
that's fucking
that were already
crazy.
hooked up,
Yeah,
so that they could,
yeah.
have have help with trips and all that stuff. So
Yeah, I mean, there's probably two parts to that too. Even from the less noble aspect of it, it's because he rode for an advertiser. It probably helped out a bit too, you know.
totally.
But
yeah,
but that's the way the world works, you
Yeah.
know. So
and I think I was still working at a restaurant at this time, and I was super broke. So like, my kit is looking at my clothes. I'm like, I would never ride in that shit now.
yeah,
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
I don't know. There's some good stuff in here, but
I
it's
mean,
just
everybody, nobody's gonna look back and be like, wow, I really,
yeah,
I really killed it on the fashion front.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
Looking pretty steezy. in all those clips.
But yeah, this was good, like super good memories of doing this with those guys. Like another time where I was involved in a project where I was like, how the hell, like, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Like Davey Watson's filming a part for this video.
Right.
Like,
This video's nuts.
yeah. And that was, the first time like coming out to California was to film for this video.
Mm.
So, a lot of good memories.
That's that old LA spot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chinatown.
Yep.
So, hit me with the Davey Watson story. Were you there for the banger? Because I was Philly. The refilm of the banger.
I wasn't there for the banger. I think I was there the day he did the manual 180. But yeah, that was a gnarly situation. I was supposed to stay at that house that night that
Oh.
they got robbed.
Yeah.
And I ended up like not. I just was like, I'm tired. I'm going to go home. And then, the next morning, I think I talked to Navaz and he was like, everything's gone. We're screwed. The video's Like,
Dude.
probably not gonna happen.
Damn.
And we were like, what? Like,
yeah.
So they got robbed, and a bunch of footage got lost, or like all
Yeah,
of it.
They basically just took his whole camera bag. So it was like
they got
I don't know if
pistol
this-
whipped and
Yeah, I don't know if
like tied up, and I don't. The story's gnarly.
the story is gnarly. It's not ours to tell the specifics of it,
Yeah.
but that's what happened. And then, did you do? Yeah, ball.
That's what we.
That's what
shot
we
together
shot.
the
Yeah,
first-
that was my flash.
Well, we did the
so-
bar.
Oh, we did do the bar
Yeah.
too.
Was that
Okay.
your guys' first
The-
photo together?
The toboggan was Dalecki.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the first.
Who shot it
photo.
better? Probably
Um,
Dalecki.
I can't remember honestly. I don't remember what the toboggan photo looked like.
Not a real.
I
Question.
remember what your photo looked like.
Yeah, I think we ended up using it a few plays. Look at him, John
There's
Rice
John
in there.
and Jeff.
There he is right there, John Rice.
John.
Yeah, so the Watson story, like to round it out, so he refilmed his banger basically, and maybe
Yeah.
one or two other clips, and
Manual to hanger.
yeah, and Navaz lost a year or two of stress off of his life. Went
Yeah.
dark
Yeah.
for on us. We're like,
Yeah.
it's everything's okay, dude. We're not mad. Just respond, which is fine, like, and it's a story at this point, like no,
it's a pretty legendary story, honestly.
Yeah, so well, hopefully,
If you're listening, Navaz, and you're ever around San Diego, a podcast with you would be amazing.
That would be
Ryan
sick.
Navazio, man.
yeah.
Such a legend.
One of the best filmers in BMX
Ooh,
ever.
yeah,
You
forever.
see his footage from Rumble in Richmond. You're like, Jesus,
Still
just fucking
Just perfectly tasteful. Like, it's not
Tasteful,
over the top.
yeah.
It's just nice.
style choices
Yeah.
and just like the way everything cuts together. I'm
Yeah.
like, is there two of you? How the fuck
Yeah,
do you,
right.
how the fuck can you cut this stuff?
Seriously.
Like,
Yeah. No,
like,
that stuff looked
God,
great.
dude. So, shout out to Navaz for
Yeah,
all the
big-
years
big
of
shout out to Navaz.
of beautiful BMX content and
Yeah.
everything he did.
And he did a lot. Like, I've said this a million times, but he did a lot for us, like our crew. He like put us on trips. Like, the first real trip I ever went on was for Dig, and Navaz put me on that. He kind of told me how to did so much like technical work for me for bad timing, like helping me with editing and just stuff I didn't know about. He just always looked out for everyone in that like Philly Jersey scene.
Yeah,
And he's put a lot of people on. So
let's see what else we got here. I actually have Navaz influence on here.
Ooh,
so
I haven't seen the questions list broken.
it
up in a while.
hasn't been a while, right?
I used to always make fun of you for
Um,
that in the beginning.
Right? You need it.
You do. No, you're the tech guy. I'm the drink beer guy.
I want to talk about the balancing of writing and filming.
Okay.
Where was the most stressful time period of that? Like, where you're like, I am failing at both of these. Like, I'm trying to do two jobs and I'm sucking at both of them because they're taking away.
yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I think after we did, actually during when we did Squash It,
Mm.
is I think the most I had felt like I'm not riding that great right now.
Mhm.
Like, that's probably one of my least favorite video parts. I have a couple clips in there that I'm really proud of, but I think I'd kind of hit a wall on like spots, and we were living in Long Beach at the time, and I wasn't happy with a lot of my stuff, and there was stuff in there that
Sorry to make you watch it now, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, just for a visual aspect.
I'd gotten hurt.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So
another good one. you guys
mentally, I was kind of just like, I'm not on the level with these guys right now.
Yeah.
And being hurt, I had to use like clips like this that like never would have been in the part.
Yeah.
I was like desperate to get every clip I could get to like finish this part. So I think this is a good example of like when that balance was really hard for me. That was like our biggest project to date, and I obviously wanted all the guys to like have stellar video parts, and
Why was Squash It the biggest part to date? Most money went into it.
Yeah, biggest trips.
Mm.
We were overseas a lot.
John
like,
Rye.
John shout out clip, of course.
Yeah, Ted Danson.
This is one I haven't
No, he
watched
looks
as
like
much as the other ones. I gotta watch this video more. This is a good one.
Yes, I mean,
I think I was like
Some
one of
of the
those
parts-
times of your
song
life when you're like
reminder
really
here.
busy.
it's like some random instrumental song.
Oh.
Yeah, this.
Yeah, it's just not like this clip is dog shit.
That's
That's all right. I don't know. I just felt like between injuries and keeping up with the other guys, I wasn't like getting the stuff I wanted to get.
Yeah.
Injuries, being the filmer,
Yeah.
and being a pro rider. That
Yeah.
I'm not a filmer, but coming back from injuries and trying to like get in there, it's so fucking
I mean,
hard, man. Like I can't imagine being the filmer too.
In the opening clip when I break my ankle, like you can hear me saying no, and I'm like already thinking like I got to make the video.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm filming.
Yeah.
I can't be hurt.
That shit gets in your head because you're
Yeah.
like, I mean, to a very lesser degree, like when I would go on trips in the beginning, I'd be like for ride, I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Hey, I want everybody to know I can ride bikes.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
want to like one, like there's some part of ego in there.
For sure. Yeah.
And then there's part of like, well, this is also looks really fucking fun.
yeah.
And then I would ride and I would get hurt. And it would be like, well, and now I'm fucking miserable and I can't do my job. as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
I just let it go. You know, and like, all right, you just have to chill. So
Right.
this, I mean, this clip is
you
obviously
got some
wild.
clips you're proud of though. 'Cause
Yeah.
these-
Yeah, I mean-
towards the end they're getting fucking gnarly.
There's
Yeah.
a couple at the end that I'm really
That's a
stoked on. But,
gnar clip right there.
Yeah.
You did not use.
What
your
about
brakes.
what about
That's
the-
so nice.
That's one of my favorites,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. So like those, these ending clips are like examples of how I wanted the part to look, and
Yeah.
Yep.
and the rest of the stuff just didn't really.
yeah. This one,
match.
heat exhaustion, Figgy
Oh
bar.
man, that was tough.
Yeah. Was that
Bangkok.
Bangkok? Yeah.
I have a couple parts like that where you're like, damn, I want it to be something, and you hate it, but then you
Yeah.
watch it 10 years later, and you're like, there's some stuff I'm happy.
Yeah,
with,
like
Yeah.
I'm
damn it.
thinking back on it,
I
like
wish I didn't
oh shit,
get
like the
hurt.
last 5 or 6 clips, I'm like those are cool, but I wanted the whole
Gone
part to
trouble.
feel that
I
way.
know,
Yeah.
I have a part
Yeah.
like
So.
that.
Let's talk about like I feel like Kink's mantra for a few years was like banger video part or like banger full length video, travel the world,
Yeah.
experience the experience of BMX, telling this like story of like, hey, look at all these places that exist in the world and how
Yeah.
awesome life is.
Yeah.
In a
I
sense.
think me and Jay working together was such a good match. Like we both were so passionate about BMX as a lifestyle and a hobby and a sport, whatever.
Mhm.
But we had drawn so much inspiration from like watching like Euro scene and like props like Euro fools.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like seeing guys travel the world was so like buried in us, and that's all that we wanted to keep telling that story because we felt like that was kind of dying. Like the go out and find shit
hmm
type of vibe was like kind of dying, and we were just like we want to tell stories and like still travel the world and see all this shit and ride like the coolest stuff. So I think me and Jay having the same attitude about that, and Jay having so much freedom with the brand, we got to like kind of steer the ship in a way. Like we're kind of just kids at the piggy bank. Like, what are we gonna do with the money this year?
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So, I think we really wanted to just show kids and people in the industry like it's still really important to like get these stamps on your passport and
Yeah.
like find these spots and like ride different shit.
I guess
That's cool.
in the sense of travel, like what do you think you've gotten out of travel? And this is a deep question, but like what have you gotten out of travel all these years? When you
Everything.
Yeah.
Like it's still what keeps me motivated. Like even with my new work and all that stuff, and with my wife, like it's permanently injected into me, you know. And I think BMX kind of gave me that because of Kink.
Mhm.
Like I would have never imagined seeing all that shit and doing all those things with those guys, and yeah, that stuff will never leave me.
any ridiculous situations that stand out?
Oh, yeah, so many.
If you can't
Yeah.
if you can't think of any,
You
I
travel
can.
for that long, that straight. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Were you on the New Zealand trip?
No,
Or
but that was
Walter?
one of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, hell no. I would have gotten killed.
Yeah, you might have, because you probably would have been swinging.
No.
Zealand,
Yeah, I
huh?
probably would have. Yeah. Tell that
You
story.
guys
I
got
know you're not
trouble
as good as
in,
Doyle.
nice
Yeah.
New Zealand.
Yeah.
So I blame all this on Catfish, actually. So fuck you, Catfish. At the time, this was when Catfish was on his laser pointer thing.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't with us, but Tony had been like spending time with Catfish. So Tony had this goofy, like super powerful laser pointer that could reach, I don't know, some ridiculous amount of
Airplanes and
distance.
shit.
They like burned you. Like when you put them on your skin, they were like They
Some of them
burned you.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I don't think
gnarly.
Tony's did at this time, but yeah, I
Okay.
remember seeing Catfish had stuff like that. So we were walking to the bar one night in New Zealand, and we were like, it was a whole crew: me, Doyle, Aaron Smith, Sexton. Actually, Sexton stayed behind; he wasn't feeling well or something. Doyle, Casey, Jay. We were mobbing.
Well, yeah, Walter, right?
I think Walter. No, Walter wasn't there.
Oh, he
He
wasn't
stayed
there.
back as
Okay.
well. And then we had a few of the local guys with us that were showing us around. So like, we're gonna go to this American bar, and we're like, yeah, sounds sick. And we took this like weird back way to this bar, and we basically cut across this field that's like, I don't know, 200 yards long, and we could see these like two people way out in the distance, and Tony's like hitting them with the laser, and I'm like, we're kind of like laughing, but it's just like whatever.
Not that funny.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, this is stupid. So then we get like close enough to that these people are like within an earshot, and I can hear the dude yelling, and he's like pissed. And
Because you keep shooting him in the eye.
yeah, I don't know. He didn't
He
like
just
the laser.
Didn't like the laser.
And it's a guy and a girl, and I think they're hammered, and they're walking, and the guy's like talking shit to us. We're like 8 or 9 deep, and we're like, dude, just keep fucking walking. Like, who cares? It's a laser. And he's like, I'll fucking beat all of your asses right now. And we were like, shit. Like,
Was he
serious.
like a native Maori dude, like a beast? Oh yeah, they'll kick all your asses.
Yeah.
Those
we didn't know
fools are
shit about that.
badass.
But the locals were probably like telling us like, shut the fuck up. Like,
Yeah.
Don't fuck with this guy.
He'll kill you.
But anyway, he like took a swing, and I think it was at Casey maybe. Casey,
Of course, it's
Casey
Casey.
takes a swing and whiffs it, like completely falls on the ground, like from the
Just the momentum of
the
swinging.
momentum of the swing. Like
Yeah.
he fell on his own, and
So the guy missed too, though.
I don't think he got him.
Oh, okay.
Like maybe I can't
yeah,
really.
yeah. It's
recall.
all blurry a little
It's
bit.
blurry.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, we got into like this skirmish with this guy, and skirmish.
Man, skirmish. works,
Skirmish. It
too.
was
Yeah.
skirmish.
A little squirmish.
And anyway, it kind of got broken up. It wasn't that big of a deal. We're like, all right, let's keep it moving, guys.
Yeah.
So we get to the bar.
So no fights broke out with this dude. Got away.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not
kind-
over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we get to the bar, and we're hanging out for like an hour, and we're all like kind of doing our own thing. Like a couple guys are playing pool. There's a couple people hanging out by the bar. I'm like sitting on like a lounge chair with Jay, I think. And I start looking around at like every one of our little like crews. Like there's 2 people here, 2 people there. And I noticed like every crew has like a massive person standing next to them. Like, and in my head now they're like cracking their knuckles and shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
just
yeah.
out of a movie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then I like look up past Jay, and there's a dude by us too. And I'm like, oh shit. And they kind of round us up, and they're like, you guys like beating up women? And we're like, pardon? Like what? And I guess the guy told his friends that somebody hit the girl that he was with, which is absolutely untrue. Like we would never.
Obviously.
We're in a different country. Like it would never happen.
You're dumb Americans, but not that dumb.
No,
Yeah.
not that dumb.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're in a different country. You would
Yeah.
never do that.
Yeah.
No,
Anyways.
it was just like absurd. And but these guys were not. They were not having it. They were really fucking pissed.
He convinced him.
Yeah. And he was like, basically like, come outside, take your beatings, and you can go back to the States. And we were like,
oh my God.
no, we're not going to do that. Like, so I guess the locals, they're freaking out. The 2 dudes or 3 dudes that are with us, they're like trying to find escapes in the bathroom and like figure out a way to sneak out of this bar. We took a look outside, and like there were a couple more dudes outside, and I swear to God, they had a pit bull like on a chain. And it was like, oh man, this is so gnarly. Like I'm already thinking like what I'm going to look like without teeth.
Yeah.
And I don't know, one of the local kids like ended up calling the cops because he was so scared. And it made us look like total bitches, but the cops like escorted us out in front of like the line of these Maury guys, and they were just like shaking their heads like pussies. And yeah, it was bad. So then we got back to the air, like whatever place we were renting, and they like found out where we were staying, and like we're just encircling the fucking Airbnb
That night?
Yeah. And like I remember Walter like coming home from like a store run, and there's all these huge dudes standing outside of our place, and he's like, "What's going on, guys?" And they're like, "We're here to kill your friends," you know. Like,
That's what they said.
like, something along
Yeah,
those
yeah.
lines.
Like let them know. Like
See, I always think Walter has, because he was so unnassuming that it
Yeah.
was like, why would we beat
Well,
up
they didn't
this
recognize-
furry little bunny rabbit?
Yeah, like
you
they knew he
know?
wasn't
Like,
at the bar, so
yeah.
they were like,
Yeah.
they didn't like really mess with him,
Yeah.
but they wanted us.
So
bad.
what
They,
happened?
the way Doyle tells the story is that it was pure fear. It was
Oh,
they
yeah.
were absolutely
We were shook.
shitting themselves
what
that
happened?
they were just
though?
gonna die.
Like after
They just eventually left.
they got bored.
And then
You
we
guys-
like woke up in the morning like, are we gonna be able to get out of here? You know, it was our last night, and then the next morning we bounced. So it
Left.
was
Yeah,
it was terrifying.
green laser. I think it's Tony's fault.
It was 100% Tony's fault. And actually,
Not
Doyle,
Cavash's.
Doyle like in the
Oh, he's
heat of
pissed.
Doyle in the heat of the moment was like,
That's
"What a fucking laser, Tony."
Yeah.
And Tony's like all drunk, and he's like, "Shut the fuck up, Doyle."
So that was the story. Is that Doyle was willing to like sacrifice Tony, and maybe I wasn't there.
I don't
Willing
know
to
about that.
sacrifice Tony. Basically, was like, it's your fault, and Doyle was like, fuck it, I am leaving.
Yeah.
And he walked
Doyle-
straight past him, and he was like, I have nothing to do with this. I am leaving, and they let him go.
I don't think he said anything. I think he just
really?
walked out and just like maybe they didn't realize that it was one of the guys that they were looking for.
Yeah.
Because it was a different crew outside.
Yeah.
But at some point, Doyle was like, "Fuck it, see what happens," and he just like walked.
What a
out.
That's
boss-
a smart move.
What a
I would've
boss
done that.
move, though.
I would have been like,
Yeah.
I didn't fucking
Yeah.
know
Because if
anything
we
about
left as a
shit.
group,
Like, I'm
we
not
were in
getting
trouble.
beat
But
up,
like he was like,
no
"Nah,
way.
I'm out."
Yeah.
Like and just
They saw like he's
Yeah.
6'3", he's confident, he didn't do shit.
Yeah.
They're like, let him go.
Yeah, pretty funny.
But yeah,
probably
we
knew
got
who he
out of it
was.
unscathed. And actually, like when the cops came, one of the cops pulled me aside and was like, what happened here?" And I was like, "Dude, we're on a trip," and this guy was like freaking out on us because of the laser pointer. I was like, "We didn't hit the girl. Like, we're not those type of guys.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these guys are all like kind of dorky. Like, we're just here to ride. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're not here to like start trouble, you know." And they were like, "Well, they're not here to start trouble. Like, these guys are like the protectors of this
Yeah,
town. You
yeah.
know, like."
So the cops were even on those guys.
They were like, "You fucked with the wrong people," and
Yeah.
like whether or not you hit the girl, like you piss them off, and you
Yeah.
can't piss them off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So if you life lesson, don't fuck with locals.
yeah,
Because you have no idea.
No
like
idea.
especially if a guy comes up that confident, he's confident for a reason. Like
100%.
I've learned.
like if I don't get you right now, I'm gonna come back and get you
yeah,
later.
yeah.
Like,
So hit him with the sorry, hit him with the kindness, hit him with the
yeah.
like, hey man, we're going to this bar. If you're coming, let me buy you a drink.
Dude.
I love you.
Yeah.
I love you.
It
I
could have been
respect
handled-
you.
It could have been
Yeah.
handled much better.
Yeah. So, but so world view.
Yeah, that's
You
why a
know?
lot of people think like, oh, the rest of the world hates Americans. It's like, no, they just hate like the non-travelers who think like everything outside of America is Disneyland. And let's shine our laser pointer in people's eyes.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
I
like-
mean that's true. There is a
was
lot
not-
of
what I mean,
disrespect.
like-
There's a lot of pompous American
was not a good look for-
mentality.
Yeah, because
but-
they travel all over the world and act like idiots a lot of the time.
I mean, I did for sure. Like we've
Yeah, I
definitely
think
been
we
idiots.
all have,
like
but-
but that's a check.
I mean, the
you
whole-
know, so.
when you're really traveling though, you
Yeah.
realize like, hey, like these are other people's homes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
You
sure.
can't just
That-
fucking
exactly.
piss people off all over. They live here. Like,
Yeah.
they're not just like.
That's what I was kind of telling the cops. I was like, "Dude, this is what we do. We travel like all over the place, and like the last thing we would do is us like hit
Yeah.
a woman
Yeah,
in a different, we wouldn't hit a woman
That's
anywhere,
crazy.
but
That's
like,
an insane like exaggeration.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
like,
I mean, that's a
oh,
way to get
man.
people
Like,
rallied
no
up,
wonder
for
why these
sure.
guys
yeah.
want to kill
They were
us.
gonna
like,
kill you. They were gonna beat that. That would be scary, dude. They were
Yeah,
gonna beat the
it was
hell out of
terrifying.
you.
Range of motion.
good times.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah.
So, where does that fit in between on the Kink projects?
No,
Yeah?
that's a good question.
Yeah, that's
I think it's before Squash It, because we were still filming VX. But yeah, that was awesome. I couldn't believe you guys asked me to do that. I was like, oh shit.
I'm
let's see.
making we have a Vans video coming out on the 9th of next month or something like that. Like it's done. And it was like when they asked me what I wanted to do, it was like based off of range of motion. I was
Oh,
like,
really?
I want to, it wasn't exactly the same, but
all-around
I was like,
type of
yeah, I
part?
want to go on this many trips
Yeah.
and have guests come on this many trips and ride every type of thing, just
That
like we did
was
on range of motion. It
A
was
really
like,
good idea format wise.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
and
so
it never
that-
really
that-
happened again. I was
this
like,
is
dude, that
how-
was like the sickest
Yeah.
video ever.
This is how dumb I am. Was it our idea? Or was it yours? I know you came up with a name.
I came up with the name, but you guys came up with the concept.
Okay, we came up with the
Yeah.
concept. And so the concept.
when you guys asked me to be, I was so young and I couldn't even believe that was like for me like a holy shit. They just asked me to be in a
Yeah,
fucking
that's
ride
how I felt for
video,
Insight.
dude.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Concept was street, like 4 core dudes have a video part, right? That
Yep.
was you, like well-rounded riders. That's what we were looking
was
for.
the point, yeah.
Trail, park, street.
Yeah.
So
Tuesday
it was
kind of
Hamlin.
Dillaward and Sergio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Good.
I
And
mean,
then it was a
yeah.
trail trip where we brought like Hucker.
Yeah.
I can't even remember now.
Hucker, Luke,
Navazio.
Nastasio,
Luke Parslow.
Parslow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We're
Yeah.
probably
and
missing someone.
Who else are we missing?
I don't know. And then the park trip was like all these-
Eloise was kind of around for a little bit.
Eloise was in there
he
for
wasn't,
sure, but he
like,
wasn't
on
part.
the
and then
trip.
the street trip was fucked, dude. That
Man, that
it was
street
like
trip.
Rob, Garrett.
Yeah.
I think Sean was Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sean.
That's my favorite part from that video. That part is crazy.
I liked everyone because I'd never done the Northwest Trails. I'd never done the East Coast, the Northwest Parks. I'd never
Yeah.
done the East Coast Trails. And
Yeah,
then
dude, we hit some cool shit.
Wait,
man.
California. I think I broke my wrist like the second day on the street trip, so I didn't really get to do that whole
Really?
one.
Shout out
Yeah,
to shout
I
out
tried
to
180 and that
Diego
did.
Silvestre for uploading the video.
It was like the second day, and I went home because I was like, my wrist is
Yeah.
broken.
Which one? Which one?
The one he said it was his favorite trip. I didn't really get to embrace that trip too much. I got
The
hurt
street
like the
trip.
second day.
Oh.
Dennis did get hurt.
Oh yeah.
But you got a bunch of good shit, right? But like you managed to get a bunch of good stuff before
First
that
weekend.
happened.
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah,
Those
thank God.
bar was like, jeez.
Oh,
like for
God.
that time, it was like nobody's doing this stuff.
All right, let's watch the trails section.
Yeah, I
Shout out
was
to
like,
Posh.
oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like
Shout out
fresh
to
out of high
Jay.
school for me, and you guys invited me to do this video, and I was like, okay.
Oh, this is
I'll
this is
fucking do
Sergio's
this.
part, right?
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yep, this is Sergio's part. That was a thing too. That's why
It's been so
the
no.
Vans
This
video
is
it's
this
gonna
is
be me and Paris's part, and then like the mix section. So it's like basically like a mini range of motion. where We
Right.
like did this concept,
That's
but
sick, dude.
kind of
that
like it was just
sounds-
Oh, it
two
is Sergio's
people.
part.
So we're just gonna like do 2 sections and then a mix section. The fucking trail. To me, I love the trail section in this video. Oh my
Yeah,
God,
dude.
Remember trying to film Hucker
Yeah.
riding
Yeah.
trails?
Actually, all of those guys, like I remember Parslow
Look
had
at him, dude.
Parslow had never really like filmed.
Ever
like a
Baker.
video
It was
part?
Baker.
What
Oh
was
yeah,
that?
it was Baker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
What?
Baker was the 4th person on the trails trip.
There he
I
is.
said Baker.
Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
I couldn't think of it.
Yeah. Parslow.
Parslow didn't know how to film.
Yeah.
Like
And
he
he
had
had
never
Hucker
really
still doesn't know how to film.
he like had never really shot before. Like he was such a contest guy that
Yeah.
I would be like, you're gonna have to like really yell down to me when you're ready and when you're coming.
Yeah, because trails are crazy.
then-
We're all on the roll, and we
Yeah,
don't
we'll-
even
yeah,
know what
we'll watch
line
it.
you're
We'll watch it while
filming.
we're talking.
Totally.
It was nuts. Like
So he'd be like doing a backflip turn down over some jump that was like 20 feet from me when I'm holding a fisheye, and I'm like, that's not the right jump.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was like we were like
yeah,
2
me,
or 3
like
days.
Me and Baker would kind of know, like, all right, Daryl's on that jump. Let's get down.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It
and
was
then Hucker and dude, I would
I
just
could
see
tell,
Hucker
like,
doing the
who was
craziest shit
used to
over in the
filming,
woods
you
on
know?
the other side.
Yeah.
He just,
well, Hucker was like impulse control. He's like, I want to do this right now. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and like, and Luke and those dudes, Luke and Corey were just kind of like, I mean, maybe Corey's a little impulse control, and I think Luke was just like, well, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I have no, because he literally, I think he said at some point, he was like,
dude,
he's like,
never
well,
been in a car
he's
this
like,
long.
yeah, this is like, I've never been on a road trip.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and we're like, what do you mean
We're
you've
like,
never been on
This
a
is
road?
like a 2-hour drive.
Yeah.
It's like, this is like the longest I've ever been in a
that's
car.
why this video
Yeah.
was so sick because it was like everyone. Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's
It was
what-
really cool.
this
Should we
next-
talk about that time that Tony drank 1 beer?
No, we shouldn't.
We should.
No, we should
Come
not.
on, it's hilarious. Corey won't give a fuck. You ever heard that story? I'm going to tell the story then.
I was way underage getting fucked up.
No, it's
I'll have
not
to-
that. It's a
have
polar
to-
opposite of that.
I'll just correct you if you get something.
Yeah.
wrong.
So, oh my
Oh, that
God.
was
I forgot
crazy.
about that
Oh,
one.
The
yeah.
Alloy session was nice. Everyone went crazy here.
So it was around the time that Corey had that Death Grip interview, right?
Nasty?
Yeah. He had the Def Grip piece, and he said, and it was a different time period, and I'm forgiving Corey, but he said some, he used the F word, not FUCK, but FAG, and he said it, and he had some negative time. This is 13 years ago, and it was controversial at the time.
Oh yeah, it was.
And so Tony, being the antagonist he is, must have left the green laser at home for this one, but. He was him and Daryl's not liking it.
Well, I know why this happened. It's because that movie Bruno had just come out.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember Bruno.
Controversial.
Well, he's just like his dick is out like
yeah.
in a bunch in the movie.
Yeah,
and they were like in the back seat like talking about the movie, and they were like, "Fucking dicks are out. I can't stand this shit." Like, and they were like kind of freaking out.
And then Tony hits just casual conversation, dead silence in the van. He goes, Darryl, remember that time I had one beer and I sucked that dude's dick? And Darryl was like, yeah, man, that was crazy. Why'd you do that? And he's like, I don't know. And Corey's right in front of it. It was like for Corey, and it was like dead silence.
They were like being like homophobic in the van. So we were like, let's just like get on the,
let's just hit him with the opposite.
Yeah.
So good. Like
Tony and I had been spending so much time with each other at that point, like with kink stuff and this, like I knew exactly where he was going.
Oh
with
yeah.
It. So I was like, yeah, that was weird. Like you sucked a dick.
One beer.
And then what happened?
You weren't even drunk.
You weren't even drunk.
Did Corey care?
No,
they were
silence.
Like dead silent.
Dead silent.
They're probably like, oh shit, my bad, I didn't know that.
Which made it better,
Yeah,
like,
might have to edit around this.
No, I think it's a time period thing. It's funny. Corey doesn't feel the same way in any sense.
Corey is one of the most open human beings you've ever met in your life.
Like,
he a lot of fucking doesn't care who anybody is, what they are.
So I'll
say that.
I just think I always think
loves
I literally I think of that line like on maybe one every couple of months. So
yeah,
but good old range of motion.
Switch 7. Wow.
Should we talk about the street trip where I invited Kyle Hart and I regretted it?
Oh man,
because I was actually there for those 2 days.
I was like, Kyle's a badass dude. Basically,
I forgot. Hucker
we stayed at my house, dude. When I first got that first house, holy shit,
for sure.
Dude.
Oh yeah, that was.
And we were crashing at
on the
Fudgers.
floors. We're getting. Remember we were blowing up those balloons and filling them with
yeah.
I made those fire balloons.
We were.
And I brought a house full of like a house party back to my house. Everyone was sleeping. Oh, that was fun, dude. That was young. This is young.
Good times.
This is the beginning of it all for me.
I remember Garrett like partying hard every night and like staying up with him, and he would just go fuck shit up the next day, every day.
Oh yeah.
Look at that clip. That clip is amazing. I think this is the beginning.
Flip?
No, this is Dilward's first
Oh,
clip.
the fish.
Don't.
Shout out to Dilward.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Dude, he doesn't age. I saw him
Yeah.
several years ago at this point, but he looks
And even
exactly
back
the
then,
same.
like I was
He's the
probably like
shit.
me and Garrett were the youngest people on these trips, and Dillard was like felt like my age because he's just such a like
Yeah,
homie.
so cool.
He was always just you want a 40? Sure, let's go.
Let's find the street section because there's so many like moments in there where
I think you passed it because we did.
Oh,
that was cool too. You did like the credits was actually rad.
all the interview stuff.
Oh yeah.
4 trips, man. Made a fucking
Yeah,
banging video.
it happened. Yeah.
So I
When it was
invited Kyle. So this is kind of X-rated. I don't know, whatever, drug rated. Kyle did what, ecstasy or something? Yeah, he did ecstasy. Stayed up all night.
But there was a purpose. It was to get back at you.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
Hold on, I'm pausing. What is this?
I don't know.
Motherfucker.
And I knew Kyle super well at the time. I remember
What is this?
Like,
I don't know
dude's
this one.
crazy. And I was
So-
like, well, no shit. It's fucking Kyle Hart. He's a badass.
Basically,
now he's like the dad of the year and best dude ever.
Yeah,
He's always
this
been the
is
best
a
dude
different
ever. He's
time
always-
period. Was he?
Even back then, he was the best dude ever.
I don't think he wasn't invited on the.
No, I invited him. I vouched for him. I was like, Keith, let's
But we
get
already
Kyle
had
on
our
here.
4 guys.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. He was extra. It was like it was on me. It was
Because
on
he only
me.
filmed one clip and it was in Dennis's part.
Yeah, because he was high as shit.
Well, a couple of the days. So
I think we both went home the same day. He was like, I'm out. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Basically,
I broke
we
my
were-
wrist, and he's like, I'm so fucking hungover.
we would mob every day with, however many guys we had,
Yeah.
12 dudes or whatever. And every day he was showing up to your house like early. And he was just like transporting all the bikes in his pickup truck.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
And after like a couple days, he felt like he was just being like bike patrol guy. Like he was just, his job was to bring all the bikes. And he
Yeah.
was like, I remember starting to have a few drinks with him one night, and he was like, I'm not doing it tomorrow. Like, I'm going to get fucked up. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, well, they're just like taking advantage of me. Like, they're just using me to like bring these bikes around. So like, I got a plan, you know, like, I don't know what the exact wording was. But
Yeah.
then the next morning, like he like did ecstasy at like 9 a.m.
Yeah, like I was gonna say
can't drive,
6.
fudger.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah.
And
Dude, we were at the White Banks.
we had to
Yeah.
we had to like replan the day around figuring out how to get the bikes to and from
I didn't realize that. Yeah. I didn't think it was a burden. I thought he was just supposed to. I thought he was like on the trip. He had a truck. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I never thought about that. But
I was like,
just,
damn, Kyle's a badass.
Yeah. It was fucking
He
hilarious.
was rolling all day.
I was
The
definitely-
White Banks were like 102 degrees. That's when Garrett was getting those clips in
Yeah.
the leather jacket.
Oh
and
my
Sergio.
god. Yeah, it was like 110 that day.
We were-
Kyle was just like, yeah. I was
we were at
"That's our
at
boy."
lunch. We were at lunch. It was Mexican food, and he was on the other side of the table with me, and he was just staring at my food. And he went like, and he finally, after like literally like a minute of staring at my food, he was like, in my beans. He just put his finger in my beans. Couldn't control
He
it.
was still getting at you. He was still.
Like,
It's like, I'm just gonna keep.
I was
hitting
literally
fudger.
like, I was just dumbfounded. I
my
was
God.
like, oh my God.
So
And he
funny.
tried to ride. He tried to ride at the White Banks, and it was like not gonna happen. Like, shout out to him. That was
That
fucking
was so
hilarious.
funny.
Kyle's
So,
a good dude.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it adds, but like literally, if he was like, oh yeah, he killed it, whatever, he did a bunch of
So
tricks, like,
range
doesn't
motion-
make sense. Doesn't
Range of
make
Motion is online now. Tony broke his hand right there too.
Yeah,
he
we
broke
both
his
broke
hand.
the same bone
Yeah.
in their hand actually.
It was 109, if I remember correctly, at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gnarly.
Tony also threw his phone in the fire and then burnt the hell out of his
No,
hand. at that sushi
it wasn't the
place.
phone. Yeah, it
in
wasn't
La
the
Mesa?
phone.
Stones.
Somebody kicked the stones around. Everybody's grabbing from the side, and somebody kicked stones around, and he grabbed, and all the stones that were burning hot from the
That's what
middle
it was.
went to the outside.
Yeah.
He did that, and then the other Tony threw his
God.
phone in for like $5. Like he's like, whatever, $5. He let his phone.
I like
just
how this
burn.
is like a like the biggest corporation media outlet.
Yeah, I
we were
know,
just
right?
loose as hell.
Yeah.
Like, it
yeah,
was still,
listen to this
like,
story
yeah,
right here, just
yeah,
from the street trip.
Yeah.
And then, dude, the other fucking trips had crazy stories too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember Drew went on the transition trip, and he came on with broken ribs or something like that.
His ribs
Yep.
are out of place.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
ribs were out of place, and he got him fixed halfway through.
Yep.
But he killed it the whole time. But it was like baby Drew, and I was like, I went in his room, and he was like reading the Bible one time, and I was like, whoa,
Oh,
all right,
wow.
what's up? You know,
Yeah.
like I was like, I've never seen that before. You know, like somebody's actually
Crazy.
reading the hotel Bible. This is crazy. It's such
That
a
park trip, we got wasted. You took me to the airport. I slept there, and I had to go to Garrett's fucking
yeah,
high school
graduation
graduation for
thing.
some MTV show.
Oh my gosh.
And then I flew back.
I
That's how
remember that.
insane that time was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like, yeah,
dude, you
sure.
were young.
Yes.
I forgot how young
God.
you were.
The way
Oh,
Garrett,
yeah.
the way that Garrett pops those 2 rail hops is just fucking insane. Look at that.
Yeah, he's hauling ass.
Bap, bap.
I don't see that spot that often.
Yeah,
It's way up north LA.
Is
yeah.
it?
Yeah. It's super
Dirty,
deep.
dirty, like Valley, LA.
A lot of this stuff.
No, it's not Valley. It's like
I thought it was Valley.
I don't think so.
Yeah, whatever.
It's just super north, like almost Ventura.
No idea where that spot
Never heard of it.
is.
Dennis is just.
Ugh. That's where
God
BMX
damn.
Day is.
That'd be cool.
No, we should do another jam there before
Yeah.
it dies. They're gonna tear that shit out.
The ditch. Then the water floods.
Yeah. So
the
here's
same
all
way.
right. So here's
They're
here's
not
the
tearing that
most.
shit up.
I mean, not the most I've ever been impressed with Garrett, but he literally was wearing a fucking vest.
Yeah.
Everybody stayed up until like 5 a.m. drinking.
Yeah.
109 degrees, and he literally was like just in the shade with everybody else, and then just fired
Yeah,
out like
this
all
session
3 or
was
4 of
so
these clips.
impressive.
I remember he was trying bar, wall, bar.
Yeah.
And he was like flinching. I was like, you think you could spin out of it? And he just did it.
Yeah.
And then did the 5 bar afterwards just
Yeah.
for shits.
For shits. Yeah, you were just still filming.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea. Yeah, so fucked.
Yeah, it was a monstrous performance.
Is that spot still there?
Nope.
No.
I think it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's hanging on.
Yeah, that's one I was thinking for BMX Day actually, but
That's
not
so
doing-
deep.
Yeah, it's super deep.
Remember Rob trying the pegs to ice?
Oh,
The what?
The pegs to ice on the rail to rail, the like higher set.
Yeah.
He actually eventually got it for that demo video, I think.
did he?
This was pretty groundbreaking because, obviously at the time everyone already knew Garrett was like the god and then Rob got the last part though.
Yeah.
It was like,
yeah.
oh, there's someone
Yeah.
that's like,
It was
take
undeniable.
out or take out Garrett.
Robbed.
I
got
remember we were
robbed.
kind of. I had the
Look at him though. Like it's like there's Garrett, but then there was Rob, and they're like
Yeah.
they're two different beasts.
yeah. All these clips are insane. I remember I had the second to last clip as the ender, and Fudger was like,
Okay, we got to see what that
"I think we
is.
should use the over ice to look back."
Oh,
And
maybe, yeah.
You were 100% right.
It was just so unexpected.
Oh,
Like, you just have
dude,
no
this
idea.
kind of shit
Yeah.
in real life was like, you're not
Insane.
gonna do that. You're
Insane.
Not gonna do that.
That was one of the gnarliest
Dude,
sessions
Rob, yeah,
I've ever been at.
I was there for a lot of the California trip though. I wasn't there for any of this, but I do remember so
This
many of
was
these clips.
like bananas at the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The over ice look back was the ender.
What the fuck? That was like a downside ice. Oh, dude.
So insane.
Rob.
Should have been closer.
Oh, and
Rob.
Sergio hits me with the "Did you get it?"
Yeah.
Rob.
I just fucking Tony.
One beer.
Dude. Damn, dude. What a fun time.
Yeah,
All right, we'll watch the part.
The
Sorry.
Yeah.
signature,
No, all right.
signature Dennis A's hat.
he doesn't want to watch it.
We're
Fair
gonna
enough.
have to.
Yeah.
Move on to the next thing.
But yeah,
It is funny
good-
though because this is when I lived in La Mesa. Now I live back here.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yeah, you
Full
come back.
circle.
That's amazing.
I
That
love
it's just
this
on some
fucking
random
place.
kid's fucking YouTube channel too.
yeah. That's what I said. Shout out to Diego
Yeah,
Silvestre.
I know because I didn't
Yeah.
know this on the internet. This is a video also that gets slept on because some
Was
people
it-
some people like has like a cult following.
It does,
It
yeah.
does,
like the
yeah.
fans of it really like it.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And some people are like range of motion because it was that DVD era before
Yeah,
internet popped.
Yeah.
So it was like people either really fucked with it
Yeah.
or they were like they never
Totally.
saw it.
It also
until Diego put it on his internet.
it was a weird.
YouTube.
So there's
Shout
a
out Diego.
there's a reason why we never put it online is because music licensing. So they would buy music licensing without foresight that like, oh shit, we need to put that on the internet.
And
You
And
know,
so
it was
we
right
literally-
on the cusp of DVD internet.
Yeah.
This
I
was
don't
like
think
that.
internet was even a thing yet because I remember talking to Lori Vincent, who's like a legend in the field
Yeah.
for clearing music.
Mhm.
And she was like, it'll be cleared for everything. And we were like, oh, cool. Like,
Yeah, it's so,
So it
weird.
was
It's
like-
not that old though. Like,
yeah, it was for use on
Yeah, because
DVD
Vital
or,
was big and Ride was big at the time. And
yeah,
Tacoma.
but it's definitely weird, and there was just a
DVDs were still
shitty
slanging, so-
era of that because that's why the reason why Ride never put any video. I think there's maybe a couple of sections that I was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna put it on the internet. But
I think our concern at the time was getting it cleared for like if Fuel TV wants to run it.
yeah.
So she was like,
That era.
she was making sure everything was good, but I don't think internet was like.
I think it was
people
just
weren't
too
really
much money. Or
streaming,
something. I don't know. Yeah,
like
I don't know.
full videos. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
think.
know. But yeah, it's that's the reason why no Ride videos are like officially on.
Yeah,
the internet.
yeah.
So yeah, because I mean, yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah.
So
I swear, like Market Zero was like the very end of like the DVD sales. You know, like
Yeah,
people can still sell
yeah.
DVDs,
Yeah, right.
obviously, but
Yeah.
people don't even have DVD players anymore.
well, because
Yeah.
even
Like that was like the cusp. Like
Who-
after Market Zero, it was like, all right, like
Yeah.
fucking
It's
get
right
that
around
shit on
then.
the web.
'Cause
Yeah. Sell
I-
DVDs if you want for the diehard.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's like vinyl. It's dope.
Totally.
I remember the dollars for range of motion, like it had to basically be paid for via sponsor dollars for it to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Because it was a weird time where
video
DVD sales were
at that
going
point.
down.
It was a
and
tight
internet
time.
was
Yeah.
going up.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It was a very
Yeah,
blurry.
I remember-
who
time.
paid for it? Osiris?
No.
A bunch of people, I think.
There was a bunch of sponsors.
There was a bunch of
'Cause I remember
sponsors.
there's, like, a
but I'm
bunch
trying
of
to think of who
logos
the
that go
dollar-
Cyrus might have been in the mix.
Maybe. Yeah, I think they
think
paid. Maybe
Haro did.
maybe they must have paid the
Haro
most.
was
I've
definitely on
seen
board.
a bunch of
Yeah.
sponsors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got my part. Yeah.
No. I mean it was.
Hey,
I mean
might have helped.
the reality is that like the amount
Stay
of
at
people.
my house. Haro's gonna sponsor it.
Right.
Yeah.
There you go. The amount of people that could have done that part, like the range of motion, like the Park Street dirt
Right.
aspect was pretty limited. You know,
Yeah.
like there wasn't like people would feel comfortable because even like Tony for the dirt aspect,
Oh,
he's
he
like
struggled.
He was like,
I remember
dude,
him
I'm
tripping. He was
fucking
like,
losing
When we got to
it.
Posh, he was like, dude, this is so gnarly.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
yeah.
not riding these 250s.
Yeah.
Like, this is insane.
There's a few amount of people that could like
Yeah.
really put that together. Think about
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's even worse, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Now
Seriously.
that
We could
It-
probably get the
maybe.
same 4 guys.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave
Trying
would
to
be
think.
like, "Fuck yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
it, I'm in.
Let's do it."
Yeah, he had some
I
fuck
love
clips
the
too.
other
There were
one,
so
man.
many good things. Like
The
it
other
was
one's
like
one
a
of those
fucking
sleepers. Where
yeah,
like,
For sure.
dude, he'll
The Ice
chill,
270 on that
chill, and
huge street wall was
Get
thinking the
it.
same thing.
insane.
We were
It's
there
almost
at
like a Rob
night.
Wise, like
Yeah,
kind of only
yeah.
bangers,
Lit-
different, but
For
like,
sure.
We lit up that car wash, and I remember there was like a homeless dude just like plugged his little TV, and he was
Yeah.
just watching it the entire time. Didn't
Man,
give
that
a
spot
fuck
was
about us.
crazy.
Yeah. So,
pee real quick.
yeah, you're good.
Just wanna pause and keep going. I don't
So
So we're starting now. We're back.
No unnecessary bar spins.
What?
No unnecessary bar spins.
Was that my mantra for a
That
little
was your
bit?
mantra for a bit.
Yeah.
Why? Because
It just got so OD. Like, I think Insight, was somebody counted them. And it was like absurd.
it was a brutal age of the internet at then back then.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. It was anonymous commenting and
yeah.
shit. Like, I was like, all right, this is fucking superfluous. I gotta chill out here.
I don't think the internet cares about bar spins that much anymore.
No,
I, think you
I mean,
could do
now,
all the bars
Back
now.
then, it seemed ridiculous, but yeah, I don't think, now it's like pretty common.
Dude,
Yeah.
2023 is like you can one up, you can ABD.
You
It's like,
Oh my
should do
God.
3
It's
bar
the-
spins out of anything.
Yeah.
If you can.
it's a
Yeah, if you
different
can,
world, which
yeah.
is cool. It's kind of like fuck it.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's like almost like just clean slate.
It is
Yeah.
weird. It is weird. Yeah. ABDs don't really exist anymore.
Dude,
Huh.
I was just having this
It's
conversation
like you
with
want to
someone.
be careful of it, but then you're just watching it edit and you're like, there was like 4 ABDs.
I feel like
in
some of the
there,
rules
damn.
are like they're not really applying this year. I don't know. It's been
Yeah.
it's been
Rodeo
interesting.
Peanut, come back.
Right.
It's like
Dude.
we need that. That's just great.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We don't need anything, but that's fun to have someone.
Have you
who's,
have you
like,
guys
blowing the
seen
whistle.
same spot, same angle
no.
on Instagram?
Yes, I have.
That's
that's
amazing.
crazy.
Yeah.
It's for
Let me-
Is it
skateboarding,
BMX
though.
or skate?
It's skate,
Okay.
but it's like unreal that that
Wow.
is like they literally have same spot, same angle, literally same spot, same angle. We'll pull it up just for reference, but
It's actually like mind blowing. That's like
Yeah.
damn, like ABD with the same angle.
Wow.
yeah, AB is same trick, same spot, same angle. That's literally all they post. So this is, I mean,
Oh,
how many?
wow.
How are you going to film the seawalls any real
Right,
different?
right.
But like it is that one, like, so there's that, and then
Wow.
So yeah, we're just we're,
Yeah,
we're always
so this
8
is like
years behind skateboarding,
Right.
Know? So
Yeah,
it's
right.
like it's
Yeah.
interesting because now they're at this level now where it's like same spot, same angle, same trick. Holy shit!
yeah, so they're on 68. Well, I guess this is 68.
Are
68
they-
posts in a row where it's same spot, same trick, same angle.
I mean, to be a skateboarder, you would just know this stuff, but are they naming the guys?
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
they're hashtagging.
they're tagging him and stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just got to that point though. Me and I don't know.
But like,
who
look
was
how
talking
weird
about
that trick is. Like, he literally like why?
Yeah, right?
it. But that's a nice trick for that
I
spot.
mean, that makes sense, obviously. But it's pretty crazy, like the
But I was just talking to I think Joey Cobbs the other day, and it's like, you know what? Like you can look out for it, but at this point, it's like
it's impossible.
it's a
Song
it's a-
jacking.
You're constantly on trips. You're constantly filming. Everyone's constantly making parts. Like it's
Right.
just video. It's just an Instagram and this
Yeah,
and that. It's
yeah.
like, you can't get hated on too hard for one up.
I feel-
someone,
honestly,
or ABD
yeah.
and someone. It's like, come on. There's so
Yeah.
many.
And like,
there's
is
a
everyone
fucking-
supposed to be like a wealth of like encyclopedic knowledge about
if you know that, great. But
right,
if you
right. But like that's not everyone's job. you
Yeah,
know?
think of a kid.
anytime I see myself getting ABD'd or one upped or whatever, I'm like, fuck yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Still
You know?
relevant.
Exactly.
Right?
You're just like that's I think that's a 2023 generation. Like me and the younger crowd. It's like we don't
Yeah,
care.
right.
The,
You know,
which the older generation that I grew up on was like, boom,
Yeah,
like fuck you. Now it's like, get it.
This is
Yeah.
the
People
this.
I don't feel like they have that like same. It's just like the whole world we live in, where it's like just do what you want to do nowadays.
I was gonna say this is like my I think my peak riding is that I filmed a clip for like a local video, and Aiken filmed the same clip. Like it was like
Wow.
a gap over like a couple of rails, like
That's a
bank
sick
to bank.
brag.
I'll take
And
that.
I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit! Like I filmed something
That's not too
before
bad.
did it like made it look smooth and more stylish, and just did it higher and better.
Right.
But like I did it before.
Yeah.
And
that, Mikey?
dude, I should have told him that on the podcast. He
You
would
hear
have been
that,
like,
Mikey?
whatever.
Yeah, right.
You'd
You'd be like, yeah, I wasn't
no, it's
even trying
basically
to
the
film
best.
that.
Yeah,
but
it's basically
they
a bunch of
pointed the camera at
bullshit.
me.
Yeah. So yeah, wasn't even trying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for real though, the people that have started riding in the last 5 years, they don't even remember.
Think
the
about it
time.
being a kid growing up in San Diego and
Right,
worrying
right.
about that.
That's the thing, like-
the hollowed ground of fucking Garrett, Chad, and Dennis,
Yeah,
and the
I mean,
entire market crew,
even this
and
stuff
everybody
all
else.
Deadline crew. It's
This
Yeah,
all looks like
ridiculous.
LA, San Diego.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
of course it's going
That's
to
what
happen
it is.
here.
SoCal.
You know?
Yeah,
And then the skate industry is 10 times bigger. So
Right,
it's like
right.
they got fucking same angle.
yeah. Pretty funny that exists. Though.
That is really cool,
Yeah.
actually.
Um,
Shout out to that guy for digging.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say.
impressive on the guy who makes
Yeah.
his account.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I was gonna say no unnecessary bar spins after the finger dislocation though. I think that was the
Oh,
main. I
yeah.
let you
You're
go through
right.
it, but like it was after you
Yeah.
started
No, you're 100%
busting
right.
all your fingers out on a regular basis,
Yeah.
like at the
I,
park or something.
Yeah, I dislocated my pinky once on a bad catch, and then it just started happening like every few months. And the ligament got so stretched out, and I guess the knuckle so rounded off that like I was waking up out of bed with my finger out and being like, "Fuck." Like
Did it
caught on a
hurt? Did it
blanket.
hurt as much still?
the pain wasn't really the issue, but it's such an uncomfortable
It's like
feeling.
a survival thing when something comes out of socket.
Yeah, it feels so
like,
unnatural,
ugh.
and you can't move it.
Yeah.
And then you can't really ride for a few days, no matter what. So it just sucked, and I kind of like got into the mindset where like I can only throw the bars like when I really want to now.
Yeah.
because this can happen anytime, and it just turned into an issue for me, and it's
Yeah.
still an issue. Like I still think about like certain tricks it would really struggle with, like the way I would catch a feeble hard bar for some reason would just
Smash your pinky.
every time it would come out.
Hmm.
And I'd be like, great, like
No, I can't.
shouldn't have
yeah.
tried this fucking trick again.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like, and every time I do a certain trick and it comes out, I'm like, I don't want to do that trick anymore. So it's like the manual 180 bars out, feeble hard bars out.
Damn.
Like it was like mentally, I was just like, I'm not doing that trick anymore.
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
this shit sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I forgot about that. That
Yeah.
became like a serious issue, and it's still pisses me off.
Every time I see a bar on your Instagram, I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Because I just think of that because you were
Yeah.
like, literally, you're like, yeah, like, because you were just so casual about bars. And
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah, like inside, it's just like,
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
Yeah,
just
I
even
mean,
casual
like
bike
any
riding.
little time
yeah,
you
like,
have, you're gonna throw it in.
yeah. If I had the time to throw another one, it was getting thrown. So yeah, after a while, it just like stopped cooperating,
Yeah.
and I was like, I went to a doctor even and talked to him about what they could do, and he was like, it's kind of a Band-Aid, like it's not really a permanent fix. It's never really going to be as strong as it ever, was. So it was just like, fuck it. Not doing those tricks anymore.
See you later.
Cut it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For real.
You want-
Maybe cut the pinky off.
Cut the pinky
That's a
off.
solution.
Dude, seriously.
Yeah. Like the what's the Yakuza shit? And be like, yeah, you disgrace me.
Yeah.
Pop
It
it
did
off.
disgrace me. Pissed me off.
I've had the shoulder one, and it's like I've had to ditch a few tricks.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
The double flip.
Double flip's
Yeah.
gone.
No,
Out of the
no
fight.
hole anymore.
I can relate.
The
Yeah.
shoulder one though, dude. The pinky, like I never had the pinky, but I could just like that little the dislocation shit. It's like you said. He was asking about the pain. It's not the pain. It's like oh god,
Yeah,
oh god.
it's like,
put it back
fuck.
in, and
Yeah.
then
I
gotta get this thing
afterwards,
back
you're
in.
like, damn, dude, it's all stretched out
And,
and
like,
weird.
I could never remember which way I had to rotate it to put it back in. So I'd be like running around like fucking
And the
yelling.
pinky seems like it would just pop out all the time.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you can see it. It's like
Yeah,
it's
it's
jagged.
like
not.
going two different directions
Yeah.
actually. Yeah.
If you were like young, 18, wanted to keep going with the career, I'd say cut it off.
Yeah, right. I know. If that
Fuck
would
it.
have happened a
Fuck
long
it.
time ago, I might not be sitting here.
I guess let's talk about go full circle, talk about the end of working for Kink. So what was the last full length project? What was the last like kind of
Good
web
place to put
project?
us right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to ask what you're doing now, so we got to start with this. So.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, the last full length was Champagne, and then
Congrats on the NORA Cup.
thank you. Still feels pretty good.
Nathan's part almost made me cry.
Oh my
The first
god.
time I watched it, someone sent us a link, and I was in like Peru with the Lacey and Perrin, and
Yeah.
we watched it, and I was like, dude, the feeling you did with Nathan's part at the end of that
Thanks,
video,
man.
Yeah.
you fucking did it.
Yeah,
That part is something else. I'll forever watch that part.
yeah, it's a pretty special part, and it felt really good to like be able to document that, especially at that time in his life and getting on a new team. And like he jumped on board and we were already filming a full length. So he just like jumped into the fire, which he kind of likes, you know, like when he got on Kink, it was like, oh, you guys are working on something. Like, I think that almost pushed him over the edge. Like, yeah, I'm down. So yeah, to see him come on late and put that part together, I mean, he was so motivating for the team, and like for us, it was just like,
Sure, he brought everybody's
oh
level
my
up.
god,
Yeah.
the energy he can bring to a session. It's just like
That whole
everybody's
video
got.
is so like you're like, dude, there's this rail god, there's another rail god, there's another rail god.
yeah.
Like when I watched that video for the first time, I was like, that's one of my favorite videos ever.
Thanks, man. I really
Yeah, it
appreciate
is a great video.
Like in the last 5 years, that's
The,
my
the
repeat.
the photo montage in the beginning, like the way it all, you know, like it's
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
I just watched the whole thing like not 10 days ago or something.
Nice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I watched that video all the fucking time.
Yeah, it came together really naturally, and we're all, you know, we were all thrilled with it. Like it felt right, and it was you know, kind of a new era for the Kink team, and kind of re-establishing like what we do and all that stuff. So it felt really good to get the cup and all that stuff. Like it's really special for me. But yeah, that was the last full length project we did, and then we did like a bunch of like kind of just like trip videos after that, which I'm still stoked on. But yeah, at the end of basically like, I don't know, October or September of 21, I was doing so much freelance for Chad Osborne at that time. And because he's kind of like made a little name for himself in the Dallas area doing video work. So
and
he was,
for the people that don't know, obviously Chad rode for King.
Yeah,
a savage
Absolutely.
bike rider.
Savage,
One of the gnarliest dudes on a bike.
For sure.
Honestly, that I think people don't know.
yeah,
Like literally
No.
brakeless double flips when double flips
He is
were
the local
fucking
hero.
scary.
Yeah,
He's
as
like the
things.
local hero
Yeah.
that Kink saw and grabbed and
Yeah.
did some stuff with him for a few years. But man,
yeah.
if you went to the fucking Fresno Park and rode with Chad
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
a good night,
Yeah.
like whoo,
It was
There was no one like
absolutely
him.
incredible.
It was over the top. Yeah.
Absolutely
So,
incredible.
was
that's
crazy.
who
Yeah.
you're hanging with now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like my boss, basically.
But we got to start. This shit.
Yeah,
So
Sorry.
yeah,
So September 21, you said?
yeah, roughly. He kind of approached me and was like, dude, like, I want to do this. Like, I want to do this full time and like start a business. And like, I can't do this with anyone else. Like, are you down for this? And I was like, shit, man, I don't know. You know, like, this means leaving Kink for
Mhm.
sure. Because I knew just the amount of clientele he had and how many projects we'd be doing. I just wouldn't have time. And I was already trying to like balance the freelance life with my responsibilities at Kink. And they were really cool about, you know, they knew it was good money and opportunities to like kind of step outside the box a little bit. But yeah, eventually I was just like, I think this is a good time for me to do this. And I don't think I can really pass up this opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I had a call with Jay and we talked it out, and yeah, we just kind of ended not the relationship, but ended the official like work relationship
Yeah.
in January of 22.
And I guess what was
That's
their
pretty
reaction?
recently.
Yeah, it is recent.
Seems like
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
what
not
was
that
their
long ago.
reaction? Were they like, "Hey, we would like you to stay," or was it? What did they counter? Is it?
Jay was pretty taken back.
Yeah.
He was like, okay. And like, we kind of have a short conversation, and then he called me back the next day and was like, did that happen? Like, did that conversation really happen?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, you know. So it's kind of, I mean, it feels like breaking up with a chick, you know, like Jay's my brother. We've been doing this for so long together. I've been at his
travel
side.
the world,
Yeah,
the
like,
stories and memories.
You know, I was in the front seat of that van for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like
Holy
we
shit.
sailed that ship together. So
That's
it was,
that's fucking gnarly. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you put it like that, like that
Yeah.
is gnarly. Yeah.
so it was a crazy feeling. And, you know, our relationship is great. We talk all the time, and I still help Kink with their complete videos when I can. Pardon me.
That's all right.
So yeah, like we still have a good relationship, and there was no love loss at the brand or anything. But yeah, they were like, "Can we counter?" You know, and I was like, "I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
it's not just the money, you know, it was like a change in lifestyle. I'm married. I have responsibilities at home. It was just like, I think this is the best idea for me right now, like in my future.
Yeah.
So
It's part of growing up too. You want to see what it looks like.
yeah,
as
kind of
well.
like, I
Like
kind
it
of wanted
seems
to, like,
exciting.
yeah,
in a
just
sense.
like kind of take a look at a different door and
Yeah.
see what's going on.
Yeah.
So
Just like when Kink started 15 years
yeah,
before.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like
15-year chapters.
yeah,
That's a good commitment. you
Yeah.
know?
For
You
sure.
It's acceptable to change.
yeah, and I'm really proud of what we did with, you know,
You should be.
everything and
Yeah.
during that time period, and I just felt like it's a good time.
You made me and like 2 million other kids a fan of Kink.
Right?
You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
I wear my
that's-
champagne
think-
shirt proudly. You know, like, swear to God, I wear
I've-
that
so
shirt all the
sick.
time. I'm like champagne.
That's
like,
dope, dude.
I feel like it's hard for a brand because their video guy does make up so much of their outward, brand appearance. And
Yeah.
you know, like
And
what
honestly,
kids
like
see.
it was when I told them that I was leaving, getting like the, you know, how important you've been to the brand and like change the face of the brand and all this, you know, all the stuff that you don't hear
Yeah.
while it's
Yeah.
happening. It was like, shit, you know, like they care and they recognize what I've brought to the table. So that made it hard, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah.
extra hard.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I felt like at that point I couldn't really waver, and it was like I've already kind of cracked this door open. Like I need to like take a step through and see what's gonna happen.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well, I mean, fuck, you gotta. I mean, I feel like you did that at the same time that Will Stroud kind of announced
Mhm.
his step away, and I was like, fuck. Like
yeah.
literally, like for BMX, I was like, just like kind of.
hey, but these
lost.
bosses, at 39, and Will's probably like 44.
Yeah,
or
I mean, it's part
something,
of- it's part of
they
growing.
Do the next thing, and then there's the new guys that
Yeah.
will come and rebrand the shit
Yeah.
just like he did when
Yeah,
he was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
kid. You know,
It doesn't
that
mean
happens.
that
That's why
somebody
shit
else can't
stays-
do the job, but you also
Fuck
still have
yeah.
to like kind of mourn it in a sense,
Exactly,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
like because he did make champagne,
just
he
gotta-
did make safety first,
exactly.
he did make it, and he did
15
make
or
7
whatever,
other
how- You said it was
videos.
15 years?
Yeah,
15 years
Yeah.
of Kink,
yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It's fucking crazy. That was my whole, the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean,
For
it's
me.
like my entire adulthood. you know,
Yeah.
like-
Is there like a moment or a thing, like when you're like, I guess you don't. I was gonna say like you can tell your grandkids, but you don't actually want kids, but like your
yeah.
friends' grandkids, you're like, oh yeah, like I used to do this, like
Yeah.
one time I, like, is there like a moment?
No, I don't know. It's not really a moment for me. It's just my life.
Yeah.
Like it's still the biggest thing in my life. It's still like who I am.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I've kind of talked about this with Canode, but like I don't know who I am without Kink or BMX.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to find a way to like keep BMX in my life as much as possible and
Yeah.
pick up projects and still like make it something that's part of my daily life, you know?
and this was so January 22. So we're
Mhm.
about a year and a half later at this point. Is
Yeah.
it? I mean, is it? I feel like you wouldn't even say you're like, oh yeah, I fucked up or something like that. You wouldn't say that, but like, has there been points where you're like, damn, like I don't know, it's not as like
Well-
shiny and bright over here as I thought it would be, type thing.
Not really. I mean, but when I see the boys on a trip and they're in Lyon,
Yeah.
France for a week, I'm like, God,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like those are my guys.
Yeah.
Like I need to be out there. You know, like I look at it like they're my family and they're out like having like it's just FOMO. You
yeah,
know,
they're
like,
having
they're out
Thanksgiving dinner
doing things
you.
without me, and I'm
Yeah.
like, God damn it. You
Yeah.
know, like so it's not really like I messed up. It just stings when I like see everybody out killing it together when
Yeah.
they're in the van together, when they're on a trip together. I'm just like, shit. Like I should be there.
Yeah, yeah,
So
So what are you and Chad doing?
so Chad started like an agency basically, and it's called 360 Media, and we just provide like high quality video content for brands mostly that need coverage for events or coverage for product releases, all kinds of stuff really. Sometimes we shoot board meetings, sometimes we're at motorcycle races, sometimes we're doing like pop-up event coverage. Just like kind of it ranges all over the place, but it's been a really good place to like kind of hone in on what I actually want to do and like get better at my craft and
Mhm.
just like learn.
Like a little production company.
Yeah, yeah.
And
And we're not like making
there's
movies
no
or
roof
anything.
though. You can just keep.
Yeah, we have a lot of room for growth, and
Yeah.
things are going well, and the client list is good. So, yeah, we're just kind of running it and seeing how far we can take it. And it's kind of the same thing. Like I got in on the ground floor. Like
It's so amazing. Like you start with just the 2 VHSs. or
Yeah,
whatever,
right.
Yeah, that's
like
pretty
to
cool. A Betamax.
BMX,
Yeah.
to traveling the world, to a mini
Yeah.
production company, to 39 years old. What's next?
yeah. So
dude,
it's cool.
that's amazing.
I've just
Will
been-
Stroud's doing the similar thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
It's the
so
same
cool,
exact
like,
thing. Like,
100%.
There's nothing wrong with that. It's
Yeah.
like there's
and we've actually collaborated with Will,
so
and
fucking sick.
and I get to bring clients to the company. Like, I got a video that I want to do with Brett Silva for his little water company that he rides for. Like,
Mhm.
go pitch it, see what they say. So I can like kind of take it into my hands. Like, I need BMX included in my life. Like, then
Yes.
go get it. Like, go
Yes.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Go work on like the new Chase project with
Yeah.
You know-
Rockstar. Go do the Brett thing. So
Yeah, so you're still in. Obviously, you said the
Yeah.
complete bike,
Yeah.
like so like kind of their
Yeah.
their online catalog, video catalog. If you go watch that of all their 23 or
Yeah.
maybe 24 bikes at
Yep.
this point, that's Darryl. The Brett, what's it called? Cutwater?
Rambler.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. Rambler water piece was you.
Mm-hmm.
Real BMX
Yeah.
recently, right? Like after, I guess
The last one I did was
was Julian.
Julian's second
Yeah.
part.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure.
I guess that was maybe after
Yeah.
because of COVID and all
Yeah.
that shit.
But yeah, we'll
Um,
see if that continues.
Yeah, and
Um,
then as you said, like the chase piece that is gonna come out, which is his backyard ramp for Rockstar.
Yeah.
So it's cool
Yeah.
that you're still involved.
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
so-
I still have, this core group of friends in Austin that are doing cool shit. And
Yeah.
I just got to like kind of make sure that I insert myself almost like, yo, let's work on something together. Let's figure something out. Like, let's make this happen. And if they have a sponsor that can like jump on board, then I can keep BMX filming in my life.
Yeah.
And that's,
And I feel like at
And
a
you
point,
bring BMX into like a different.
yeah.
You're,
Yeah. I
like,
get
Yeah.
to work with
scene.
like different kinds of companies that like don't really have a BMX frame of mind. They're like, oh yeah, you guys want to do something for us? Like, cool. That
Yeah.
sounds
So
sick.
sick.
you know, it's super random. I feel like is kind of on point right now. Is like I got a text from Miles Rogish yesterday.
No
And he's like, hey, I want to put some BMX poster, like photos from Ride on this kid's wall for this like production that I'm doing. Like, is that cool? Like, what, And I was like, you're good. Like, you're multiple reasons you're good. But I'm like,
Right.
small stuff like that, where like Miles is like he's out there doing videos and shit like
Yeah.
that. But like everybody still has like the love for BMX
Yeah,
and like,
right.
wants to include it in
Yeah.
I
certain,
said that
in
about
certain ways.
BMX for like the last 10 years. I
Yeah.
was like, all these successful motherfuckers I know from BMX, like if they like had a little bit of BMX, like, to keep it going.
Yeah,
Like,
inject
that's
it.
why the skate industry always is like fucking thrived because they like bring skateboarding with them.
I think it's just-
and I
it's
think
just
a lot of BMXers
easier.
forget about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Is it easier? I don't know. I think it's like, I think a lot of BMXers
Yeah.
are just like, I'm done. And they're
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah,
I
It's
mean,
like, dude, what
you're
the
right.
hell?
There's
like, bring it
and
with us.
I
Like, bring
think
it to the world a little bit
a lot of
more.
people walk out of BMX with like a lot of animosity
Yeah.
Yes.
towards their like experience or how they
Why?
were treated towards the end of their career. And like I really never wanted to be that way. I never
Yeah.
wanted to be like mad about BMX. Like it's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And I'm not gonna like walk away from it like with like a bad attitude about it. And I think if you can keep your lifestyle going and still include BMX somehow, like that's the dream, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm still riding, I'm still working with guys. It's just in a different capacity.
And you're more in control than ever if it's
Yeah.
what you're choosing
Yeah,
to
kind
do.
of.
Like
Yeah.
you're not you're your own director,
Right.
In that sense,
and I get to like
And-
pick and choose which projects I want to work on. And if I see something I think could be really cool, I have to like pitch it and make it happen.
yeah, yeah.
So it's kind of cool.
Congrats, man. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
thanks, dude. I
That's really
appreciate it.
cool. Like you're at the level, like fucking sweet.
Yeah, it's cool. And
Is it-
like
Okay.
the scene in Austin is thriving, and these guys are getting hooked up, and they have some different eyes on BMX. So it's like it makes sense for us to still work together on stuff, So
Yeah.
it's been sick.
Is there advice out there for? I feel like being a videographer these days is always like I don't know. I feel like it's like difficult for a kid to like grasp it and how to make a living and how to get in the
Yeah, I don't
door
know,
and stuff
dude.
like that.
Are
It's
you
such a hard.
like specifically BMX wise.
I mean, BMX or otherwise, I feel like it's a mentality. I feel it's like it's more of a mentality advice than anything else. Like hey, check yourself. Like
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, honestly, dude, I've gotten so lucky throughout my life. Like, shit just falls into my lap, and
Feels
like,
that way.
I just like, eventually, I
No, it's
got.
because you're a hard
I feel-
worker
I've-
and you take
yeah.
initiative on like what the task is at hand and you do it as good as you can. It's
That's-
not everything's
yeah,
not
I
falling in
mean,
your lap. It's
I was
not-
gonna say if Jay is here, he would have a different opinion than falling.
and that's
in
why I
your
have
lap.
a
Yeah.
different
You
opinion.
know,
I guess
like-
from my
fan of
perspective,
what
it
you
just
do.
feels like people just hit me up with like these crazy opportunities, and I've just like,
That's not what
sure.
it is.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
modest of you. In like a cool
I think
way
it,
of
I think it
thinking
is
about
like that
but-
though. I feel like it is like that, like in a snowball type sense, where it's like, hey, if somebody hits you up, and then you do this little thing as this little pebble,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then somebody else sees that thing you did,
Right.
or maybe they don't see it for fucking 30 of them,
Right.
30 little pebbles, but then the
Right.
31st one, somebody sees it, and then it turns into a slightly bigger pebble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and then you get a couple like that, and nobody
Yeah.
fucking sees it, and you stay on that level for
Right.
a long time, and
Yeah.
then it gets a little bit
Well,
bigger.
throughout this podcast, it's like, look where you came from.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then all of a sudden you're in the Kink van riding as hard as you can. Then all of a
Right.
sudden they realize you have this talent with filming too. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, it's just things aren't falling into your lap. You're grasping opportunities.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
Without even knowing it because you all obviously have a great work ethic.
Yeah, I think I've just anything that's come my way, I'm like I've seized it. Try to be like, yeah, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
down.
I think even making the decision to leave Kink was you seizing it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
like I think that's like,
Yeah, I think
you know,
so.
yeah.
Like
So
in
It's a
hindsight, it was the
hard
right-
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah, super hard, dude.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it fucked me up. You know,
Fucking A.
it still kind of fucks me up. I'm like,
yeah, I can
That
kind
really
of tell.
happened?
I mean, I feel like you'd wrestle with, like, as you said, like your identity.
yeah,
You're like, oh,
for
I'm
sure.
not a pro bike rider anymore. I dealt with that a couple years ago in a
Mhm.
sense, but I'm also kind of still in it.
Yeah,
And then you're like, oh yeah, I'm not fucking this guy, and I'm
Yeah.
not doing this, and
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything that has a bunch of comments about how fucking great it is. and
yeah.
shit,
Well,
you
for a
know?
while,
Like,
I didn't do anything BMX related.
Yeah.
Like when I first started with 360, and that was like I'm freaking out. Like
Yeah.
I'm still riding, but like I'm not behind the camera when it comes to bikes at all.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah.
like shit. Like kind of freaked me out.
I guess, do you get the same enjoyment in any capacity of like filming stuff? I'm sure at moments, but like
Yeah,
at
I
other
mean,
points you're like,
Yeah. I mean, creatively, sometimes I'm like, oh, that was cool. Like
Yeah.
something that motorcycle race was really fun to do
Yeah.
or whatever. But yeah, nothing's ever gonna like match the satisfaction of like
Nathan.
finishing a Nathan.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
like doing
yeah.
the chase video that we just did. Like
Yeah.
nothing, that's the coolest thing I've
But
worked
you
on
still
all
get to
year.
do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
which
it's
is
just,
pretty
I just got to make sure that I can like keep it in my life,
Mhm. Which is great.
Because it is so important to me. And I don't like, I would probably lose my mind pretty quick if like BMX just wasn't in my life. It would just be like so foreign.
Yeah. I think
That's how I feel. Like whatever the
Yeah.
next step is, like I just
Right.
want to like have a little like
Yeah.
BMX, at least like bring it with me a little bit.
Right.
Like, like the BMX is just something so powerful
Yeah.
to me.
The
Like,
post
it seems
you
like I
made
love
yesterday, I
feeling that
think,
with you.
like where you said like my hobby is,
yeah, that
I
was
was
so
so lucky
random,
that
but
my
I just
hobby-
really felt it.
dude,
and
that was like perfect. I was like, yeah, like that's 100% correct.
so cool.
yeah. And what
It's
was
so
it? What was it for the people that didn't see it?
I was just riding my ramps by myself, and it was like 90 degrees. But I was just like,
yeah.
dude, like fucking BMX is like my favorite thing to do. It's also my passion. It's also my job, and it's my meditation, and it's an exercise.
Yeah.
I was just sitting
Right.
there like so grateful for it, and like riding as hard as I can. I was like, dude, fucking
Like it
love this
like
weird
checks
little thing.
so
that I
many
got,
boxes
like bikes,
for you.
man.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I was truly like, oh, like yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
dope.
really what it is. And I had so many people like it was crazy.
And
Like
b-
a
and-
weird little post. And
Yeah, right.
BMX needs people like you in it as well to dip in, dip out, do what you got to do. You love
Yeah.
it. Like, I think it's important. And obviously, whatever your next phase is, YouTube superstar.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah, right.
But, like, I
360 media with my boy.
right. I mean, fucking.
What are your skills? None.
What? How many NORA Cups did you? 2?
Me?
Yeah.
No, just one.
Just one? Oh yeah, Champagne was the first one. Holy shit.
I was nominated like 5 times.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I was
like,
Hey,
Well, at least he went out with a
felt
bang.
real good.
Yeah, that. Sorry, Jay. If he didn't get the NORA Cup, he probably would have stayed. I'm like, no, I'm staying on for the next one.
Yeah.
He's like,
We're
"Darryl,
starting
would-
next full length.
That would have been the next one. Still chasing.
Nobody's making a video this
Still
year. We're making a
chasing.
video.
I will say, giving you guys a NORA Cup was a cool. That's not how NORA Cups usually go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
being able to give that to you guys was
that was cool,
especially
man.
given
Was
our
that
history.
that was the at
That
your
was-
house?
That was the NORA Cup one. Yeah, that was
COVID?
like that. Yeah, the COVID
Ah.
NORA.
Yeah, and then we partied at
Yeah.
our Airbnb that night.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And then you met your
I
now
was
baby
already with
mama.
her.
All
Yeah.
right, but that was the first time I
First
met her.
week I was with her.
Yeah.
That was the first week.
Okay.
I was like, Asa was conceived the night we gave out. the
No,
NORA
but it was right around there.
Cup.
Not that night.
Shit.
I literally,
I think he was already in her belly.
I might start telling people that anyway.
yeah, like
Calvin said that the other day. He's
literally,
like,
like
"Was Asa
shut up.
born that night?" I was like, "Nah," or not born. But
I remember Dennis showed up just you had like wine on
I
your
lived
shirt.
right down the street. I was like, "Yeah, it's been COVID." I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, my
we
friends
were
are in
right by
town."
you, yeah.
I
Yeah.
was so
Oh, man.
fucking hyped.
That was
dude.
the
You
funnest
guys lived
night.
down. You guys had the Airbnb down the street from me after the fun podcast day.
Yeah.
Jared turned pro.
We were raging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I should have stayed longer, but you scared me. You were like, Fudger. And I'm like, no.
Me?
No, him.
Well, yeah. Jacob turned pro for Odyssey and Kink that day. And then
Champagne one.
we got video. And then Nathan got
Yeah.
Street Rider.
Yeah.
you guys
and
got
video
an
part.
Airbnb down the street from my house.
And we were like,
no one
dude.
ever is by my house back then.
Yeah, right?
I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
And I
let's
haven't
watch,
seen
let's
any-
watch it. Let's
I hadn't
relive
seen
it.
anyone
I
in
feel like
2
we're
years.
heading.
Champagne is like, fuck, one of the best videos ever.
We have the full thing, but
I love
Oh, this
it.
is us getting it.
yeah, this is getting it. I feel like
is
this
there
is
party
this.
footage.
No,
No.
Damn
because
it.
that was like pre-COVID. We couldn't do that.
I have it in my head.
We were. I remember being in my backyard, looking at everybody and being like, "This is irresponsible."
Yeah.
But it just sort of happened.
Oh, we were like passing a bottle around and
Yeah.
I was like, I don't even care.
Hey, shit was so good. It was like,
Yeah.
if we all die, we all die.
Yeah.
Like, man, what a great. It was the end of COVID too, where we realized, like, I don't think people are dying like this.
yeah,
You
it was a
know?
little
we're
bit.
like, we're kind of all figured. It wasn't the beginning where it was like, what's going on?
Yeah,
It was like,
right.
I think this shit's
was a
kind
little bit
of
known,
a little
yeah.
blown out.
Yeah.
We were learning.
So
I
just
think
try
I'm,
to make it as corny as
I
possible.
think I'm fully
basically.
like, no.
Look at Gary hiding right.
Look at Gary. This
I'm
song
tripping.
too for
Look at Daryl. Look at him.
the
I'm not
Child's
quite
Play.
crying, but I'm close.
You just have such a good music sense too, man. Like the Child's Play song.
Oh, I jacked this song.
I don't,
I accidentally jacked it, actually.
it's okay
From
because I
who?
don't know who you jacked it from. So
Yeah.
fuck. We're BMXers.
I heard
Look
it
at
at the.
Jesse.
Oh, yeah, Jesse's there. Nice.
Just
I
like,
spent.
give me that.
I spent. That was $100 bottle of wine too.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not fucking around
Yeah,
with
that's a
this.
real
Like,
one.
yeah, I was like, I can't get him like a fucking $15.
Did we do
bottle of
Jacob's
champagne.
podcast later that day?
Yeah, that was later
and
in
then
the day.
the party was that night.
Yeah.
That was a fucking sick day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Big
yeah, because
dog
I was
day.
already drunk by the time I got here.
yeah.
It was a different house.
It's a yeah.
Different-
That's
I
how.
remember
That's how.
when I
dr-
was-
That's right.
That's how drunk you were because you're like, is this the same
Yeah,
house?
I know,
Like
right?
this
Yeah.
house is nothing like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah, congrats you guys. Champagne.
and then obviously shortly after that, I hit Nathan with the
Oh, then we were like
Good.
extra freaking out. Like, are you gonna? What's next? Like,
yeah. So I had given them. I had
are we
given
gonna win like team
Oh,
of the
yeah.
year or
I
something?
didn't even add that. Yeah.
yeah.
Nathan
So
won
I had
Street Rider of the
I
Year.
had given them this NORA Cup, and I had
And then
clearly
Nathan won. Nathan won NORA Cup for Christian's video. Why
was-
not? But he was
right.
also nominated for Champagne,
Right.
which is like
Yeah.
insane.
I know.
So it was
Double
it was a
nominated.
different one. Yeah. So
Oh, Nathan, dude.
and so I pretended I didn't have a battery.
And then Jacob got on pro
You
for
guys
both
were like,
teams.
You not having this battery. I'm talking so much shit.
oh
right
yeah,
now.
100%.
I'm like, this is classic Fudger. Now we're really tripping. And this was for Street Rider. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is sick. It was
Nate had a good
Cool.
day.
it was cool.
You guys all did. It was.
It was cool to see Nate like legitimately happy.
Yeah.
You know, like
I know.
like he's pretty stoic dude
He's
in
so
a sense.
chill.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't like attention on
No,
that stuff,
yeah.
you know. So
So
But he deserves.
Oh my
I
God.
should just do this for NORA Cup anymore. Fuck the party. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, that was a good.
NORA
it's
Cup
like a Nora-
September Sunday, November.
There was only
September
20
10th,
people that remember that
after
NORA
the
Cup.
finals of Battle of
you-
Hastings. I'm doing
better
it.
plug that shit. Now.
Yeah, unplug that shit. Nah, it's happening. Real NORA Cup
We're
party.
not doing it here with 20
No.
people.
No,
That was dope.
no,
that was a
no,
NORA Cup.
yeah.
No one will ever
No, that
know
was
besides
special.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. It was
It was
cool
the
to be a
podcast
little.
plus the Kink team.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
And it was like honestly perfect for me. Like I don't know, like going up on stage and doing the whole like thing would be cool, but this was like I don't know. It was felt
it was
personal.
Yeah, it was
That's
cool. But
better.
it was
Fuck all that shit.
especially in the middle of COVID when everything was like fucking
Yeah, right.
kind of off. So it was cool.
Yeah,
So
got lucky on that one somehow.
yeah, and I had to give him another one. Yeah, that was Street Rider. So I'm getting all. I haven't thought about this in a while. So that was Street Rider,
Right.
and then
And
I
then
had
you
to, and then I
surprised
had
him
to,
and
and then I had to surprise him again.
Right.
A completely different time.
And you
I
like
went
set up a fake shoot
yeah,
at a spot and
a
everything.
fake etnies shoot
Yeah.
with Pova. Yeah. So
Pretty cool.
yeah, literally got kicked out, and I'm like, all right, just. But like filming and
Just give us 5
somebody's
minutes.
like yelling at me from the second floor. I'm like, just give me 2 minutes. Shut the fuck up. Like this is really important. So, but yeah, fucking 9 video parts, NORA Cup, fucking a catalog of video parts yourself.
Yeah.
Contributions to BMX, fucking times 1 million. So thank you, Darryl.
Thank you.
You're my
I
homie.
appreciate you. Thank you for coming by.
all the like as
Yeah.
a kid,
Yeah.
because you're a little bit
Thanks for
older than
having
me,
me.
but I got to be like a fan of everything you did throughout all these years. So thank you for like the motivation
Dude.
throughout 15 years
It means a lot, man.
with
Thank
you
you.
and Kink together as one.
Feels good.
Thank you, Darryl. This is it. What we do? 205? Not too bad. Not too bad.
Word.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Taco.
Yeah.
Pew.
You guys.